At muling nagbabalik ang Free Fire MCP Major Season 3 at tuloy-tuloy lang ang bakbakan for Week 2, Day number 2. 18 teams, 1 champion. Sino ang magwawagi sa huli? It's your girl, Babe Mommy, as your host, and the lovely, beautiful casters with us today, syempre, si Sir Neptune at si Kuku TV. Neptune, nagpalit tayo ng place today. How do you feel today being the caster for Day number 2?
I feel excited, no? Kasi I think timely yung pagpapalit nung pwesto natin. Kasi pakiramdam ko may maraming magpapalit na pwesto dito sa leaderboards natin ngayong araw na to. Kasi napansin na nila kung ano yung mga ginagawa ng mga top teams dito at tingin ko mababaliktad nila yung sitwasyon ngayon.
Speaking of nagpapalit yung situation, di ba? Kuku TV, ano sa tingin mo? Blacklist International still out on top. Pero just like that, yung Do Easy, di ba? Medyo nagka-creep up na siya with the points.
Yeah, definitely, because yung kill points niya is actually 3 digits na. Actually, mas malaki pa siya sa rank points niya. Pero I wanna point out itong Eastern Wolves gang. Nasa 7th place sila ngayon and they never got a booyah. So that means a lot, di ba?
Obviously, like every time you make a point, kailangan balance yung mga points mo. Kailangan may placement points ka, kailangan may kill points ka. Kaya nakita mo yung mga teams like Geek Fam, Do Easy, and Blacklist International, every game that they have, hindi sila kulelat. Kung hindi sila buya, kung hindi sila top 1, they're usually in the middle of the pack, diba? They're getting those kills and all of that they're slaying. And now we're starting Week 2, Day number 2, and medyo ito na yung point na kinakabahan na yung ibang teams na yung nasa kanang bahagi ng list basically. People who are trying to get into that top 12 spot. So now that we're finally getting into Day number 2, honestly, the level of energy is really high for today. #Road to Redemption nga. So a lot of these teams that are bumped down, especially for the likes of AKO Ligers, they have the immense pressure to really just climb their way up onto the top. And now Neptune, now we have basically set the tone of what we had today. Ano sa tingin mo gagawin ng teams na nahihirapan dito sa competition so far?
Well, looking at the scores that they have, di naman sila nalalayo, no? Especially from, if you go down to the bottom, mamaya makikita natin yung buong listahan, but if you go down to the bottom, coming from AKO Ligers and then moving up before reaching top 12, malapit lang yung punto sila. So, marami pang silang tsansa. Ang tanong lang kasi, paano nila babalik na rin yung sitwasyon kung saan marami silang nakasabay tapos nalalaglag sila maaga. But before that, Beef Mami, let's go over to the tournament format.
Oh yeah, speaking of the tournament format, let's take a look at what we have here. Ito na, yung mapa natin kahapon, Kalahari, Bermuda, pero ngayon, iba siya. Purgatory, Bermuda, match number 1 and match number 2 respectfully, sila ay mag-alternate. So ngayon na wala yung Kalahari sa picture, I feel like this gives a lot of chances for all of the other teams that can make it into a really good job for Purgatory. Kasi alam natin, yung statistics ng ibang teams, minsan nahihirapan sila sa Bermuda, minsan nahihirapan sila sa Purgatory. And now with that in mind, feeling ko yung mga teams na kunwari nahihirapan sa Kalahari, dito sila dapat mag-shine. And Purgatory definitely, medyo mahirap talaga siya because it's an open map and especially getting a lot of these points. But speaking of the points, this is the point system that we have. Number 1, 12 points. Ito yung spot na gusto mong magiging. 12 is a really big number. It's our favorite and lucky number here in Free Fire. And obviously, number 2, number 9, you're gonna get a lot of points as well. So kailangan mo nandito ka from 1 to 6. So if you're going into that right side of the map, right? The right side of the screen right now, number 7 with 4 points and also number 8 with 3, 2, 1. And now you don't want to be here dito sa 11th and 12th spot kasi magiging kolelat ka. 0 points for you. That's gonna be very hard if you do get into the 12th spot. And now for the teams that we have for today, Group A, B, and C. Nakita natin, obviously, Group A, they've been having a kind of a hard time. Feeling ko yung team lang dito that was kind of doing a good job was hard to get from Team Philippines. Bloody Heads as well. Philippine teams yan na have been doing a good job here so far, but Bloody Head medyo nahirapan talaga sila kahapon. But for group number B, taking a look at that, Geek Fam obviously one of the top teams that we have here. And group number C, ito nga ang list of death natin, group of death, Blacklist International and Do Easy. And now, obviously, what are they playing for? Ito ang pinakamahiwagang prize pool natin. First place will get $2,000. Second, going up to the fourth, $1,500. Pag kinonvert mo yan sa peso, basically you're going to be a hundredaire. I can't say millionaire yet kasi syempre, dun pa tayo sa mas malaki pang prize pool, di ba? Pero still, okay na okay pa rin to. It's still gonna change everyone's lives. But going in from the 5th to 6th, you got $1,000. 7th, going up to the 18th place, medyo bumabawas na talaga yung pera niyan. So you wanna get into that first place spot. So anyway, with that into consideration, a lot of people in the comment section just put out who your favorite team is, show your support, who do you want to see get that $2,000? Kasi malaking pera yan, Neptune. Alam natin na, syempre, malaking pera yung pinag-uusapan dito, di ba? Pero it doesn't really matter because sometimes, masaya lang talaga maglaro ng Free Fire.
Yeah, definitely, yung saya ng laro mo dito, plus if the energy that you're getting, the adrenaline rush that you're getting, especially when you jump in competition, ibang klase kasi yung nagagawa niyan para sa isang tao. But it doesn't really, it really helps din kung meron ka ditong additional cash to back it up.
Oh, absolutely. And now speaking of the points to back it up, tignan mo to. Blacklist International with 224 total points. Do Easy with 197. So medyo may kalayuan yung points dito, pero syempre Do Easy, kayang-kaya pa rin lumaban going in for that top 1. Pero look at right below them, Geek Fam 195. So 2 points in separation lang against Do Easy. So sobrang kayang-kaya pa ng Geek Fam to go and get a lot of these points. So nung day number 1 here for week 2, yung Geek Fam sobrang galing nung positioning nila. Galing. Everything just pulled through together. How about you, Kuku TV? What do you think that Geek Fam did against Do Easy and especially against Blacklist International? What went right for them?
Well, what went right for Geek Fam is their positioning sa circle. Kasi nga, every time na nakikita natin sila, minsan, actually lumalabas pa nga sila ng circle in order for them to actually kill or wipe out yung mga kalaban nila. But then again, yung circle talaga pumabor sa kanila kahapon. Remember them being in a circle and kumbaga pumipitas-pitas na lang sila ng mga kalaban, and you can actually see here in the scores in overall na mas mataas ang kill points nila kaysa sa overall na rank points nila, which is 82 points lang. So yun yung parang difference ng Geek Fam out of the rest of the teams na nandito ngayon.
Grabe, slayers talaga sila. So obviously the teams on the right side, they would want to get into that 12th place kasi yan ang coveted top 12 spot to eventually go into the finals. And now we're finally done with talking about all that. Tapos na kami magsalita, malapit na ang bakbakan. And now we are going to start day 2 of Fresh. Purgatory, syempre ang first map natin ngayon. And I'm so excited to see it in the background with you guys casting kasi obviously you are so talented into trying to make a story into for all of these teams. But I actually just want to do a little bit of a giveaway thing, right? Especially, I know you guys really love to do giveaways and to have codes. So ito na nga, Skull Hunter AK Box. So yung mga AK-47 users, mga AR users, mga AR mains, ito ang gusto nyong kunin. So sabay-bay lang noon, basically at the very end of the stream, maybe in the middle point, we don't know. We're gonna show you, but you have to stay at the very end. So yun nga, may code kami pinamigay kahapon. Magbibigay ulit kami ng code today. Neptune, are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, for those of you who are in here, you stay with us, stick with us. Siyempre, bukod sa code, alam ko sa mga diskarte ng mga tropa natin na maglalaro ngayon, marami kayong matututunan. So, if you love Free Fire, go ahead and stay with us, like and share the stream.
Oh yes, like and share the stream. Tag nyo lang yung mga kapatid nyo, tag yung mga pinsan nyo, yung nanay nyo kasi pag mas mataas ang viewership, syempre, mas madaming codes, mas madaming prizes ang makukuha nyo. Not only that, syempre you get to hang out with us casters here today kasi sobrang init ng bakbakan. So Kuku TV, before we actually start the match, I want to ask you, which team do you want to see just finally pick up the pace? Who struggled yesterday, who struggled in the past week and finally maybe get their rhythm today?
Well, yung choice ko, walang ka-bias-bias, Vete Esports talaga. Kasi nga, they're currently on top 12. Medyo umangat na sila ng onte. I want them to be not just on top 12. Gusto ko sila within that top 5 kasi talagang maganda yung pinapakita nila even last year and then in the FFCP. Now, in the MCP Major Season 3, it's just probably because na sinasabayan talaga sila at hindi sila nananalo dun sa early engagement. But feeling ko nakuha na rin nila yung groove from yesterday and hopefully this day na maging ganun din yung magiging performance nila para umangat pa sila sa overall standing.
Oh, definitely. Yan talaga ang panlaban ng Pilipinas, Vete Esports. Let's see if they will get the crown, especially the first buya dito. And now finally, going into the spaceship, we're finally leaving the planet Neptune kasi planet Beef Mami na ang ating pupuntahan. And now, finally, 3, 2, 1, casters, let's go.
Alright, casters, pasok! Ito na, papasok na kami papalabas sa papuntang Earth, galing planetang Neptune, mga kaibigan. At kasama ko si Neptune ngayon dito sa Caster's Desk. Match 1, Week 2, Day 2, Neptune. Ano sa tingin mo ang mangyayari dito?
Hindi ko masasabi kung ano mangyayari. Kasi nabanggit ko nga dito na maraming changes na changes na nagbago. Masyadong redundant. Pero marami nang nagbago from yesterday. Ang dami na natin nakita na nabaliktad. Though yung top 5 natin is steady pa rin sila doon sa kanilang pwesto. Pag minsan nagpapalitan, no? Nakita natin ang Gig Fam and then Blacklist, no? Do Easy just catching up. So, yung sa top team, yon I'm just hoping that some of the teams right here, magagawa nilang pabagsakin nila para kahit pa paano mabawasan yung pagkakataon na hindi na umangat yung kalamangan against sa iba. Tapos yung ibang teams naman nasa iba, is makahabol sa puntos para naman maging balanse, maging mas exciting yung labanan natin dahil nga dikit-dikit na lang yung kanilang mga scores.
Ayun, exciting, no? Naririnig ko yan lagi sa TikTok eh. Exciting! Di ba? Ganun. Yung mga kantang ganun. Pero anyways, ito na nga. Uy, meron parang hindi ko na intindihan na sound. Naririnig mo rin ba yun, Neptune?
Oo, meron. Mukhang sobrang init ng bakbakan talaga. Umuugong, no? Dumadagong-dong yung barilan dito at mukhang nakakita na tayo ng isang first blood. No? Unang dugo dito sa laban na to. But let's see how well these teams will prepare and engage. No? I think it's Script Shots and Umbrella Reborn ang magkakaharap dito on this area na high tier loot. No? Nakitang-ito naman blue na blue sila ngayon.
Oh, blue na blue, SSZ blue. UMB, hindi ko alam kung ano yung sabihin ng B, baka blue rin yan, pero yun na nga, Neptune, Ejat Sir, ito na Sir, mga kaibigan, tinatama na nga dito si X-Lance, and X-Lance mukhang mali ang pinasukan mo dito, and right now, half HP na lang ang natitira sa kanya, at meron pang sasakyan na pasugod. Kaz, walang takot na pumasok dito, at mukhang babanggain pa nga niya, at mukhang muntikan pa sasabog ang kanyang sasakyan, and the beta, nakita na nga siya, niratrat ang kanyang katawan. 1-0 para sa laban na to between Umbrella Reborn and Script Shots.
Ang ganda sana ng pasok ni Kaz. Kazo. Napabagsak nga siya doon. No? Ito mga tropa natin, Umbrella Reborn, error is being shot at from above. Mukhang si X-Lance ata nakakita sa kanya. And Script Shot still 4 man strong sa laban na to. But I think, no, Umbrella Reborn, dahil nalaglagan na nga sila ng isa, they just need to get that revive card and then just pull out from this battle unless na-maintain nila yung aggressiveness nila from yesterday. And the aggressiveness that Umbrella Reborn has is really doing good for them. Hopefully, they'll be able to keep that up. And alam mo yun, yung consistency na lagi nating hinahanap sa mga teams.
Totoo yan. And speaking of consistency right now, look at Bloody Heads. Nag-aamoy na sila dito. Kung merong kalaban, narinig siguro nila yung gunshots nung dalawang teams. Pero Umbrella Reborn will bail out here. Ejat Sir at yung mga kasama niya ay papalayo na nga. Ito na yung snow area. Ski resort actually dito sa area or sa mapa na to, and right now kailangan natin to kasi napakainit sa Pilipinas.
Sobrang init. Sana may ski lodge din dito. Pero kung ang tanong, no, maglagay ng ski lodge dito, ano kaya yung pag-iiskihan nila? Buhangin, no? Buhangin na tuyong-tuyo dahil sobrang init niya. But anyways, Todak right now is already lost si Pedro Carillas at ito, 3 na lang sila natitira dito at ang tanong, sino kaya ang makakakuha ng card and also makapag-revive sa kanilang nawawalang miyembro. Gig Fam right now, tamang langoy. Parang nakakakita ako ng pattern na Kuku TV, no? Parang karamihan ng mga members, mga teams dito, pumupunta sila sa malamig. Kanina sa ski lodge. Ngayon, nag-swimming naman ng Gig Fam. Talagang ramdam din nila yung init na nagaganap ngayon.
Summer na. Yun yung ibig sabihin nun, men. Kasi sobrang init dito sa Pilipinas, kahit may aircon ka, napapawisan pa rin lahat ng parte ng katawan mo. Pero ito na nga, mga kaibigan, AKO Ligers, tamang, parang nag-field trip lang sila dito sa Gedli as they can actually see Todak, and maraming beses na natin nakita itong dalawang team na ito nagbakbakan. Todak at AKO Ligers. And for me, Todak still has the advantage kasi nga, when it comes to engagement, madalas na nanalo yung Todak kaysa sa AKO Ligers, di ba?
Correct. No? Bukod dun sa diskarte nila na kumuha ng mas maraming placement points, when it comes to close engagement, sila talaga yung nananalo eh. It's more of understanding ano nga ba ang nangyayari from the side of AKO Ligers dahil nakita na natin mga AKO Ligers. Alam mo mga team na batak din, alam naman natin na posible silang manalo on those fights. Pero ang Todak, hindi naman sila nagpapatalo din basta-basta. So, I think there's more motivation that needs to be done for the side of AKO Ligers just in case mag-engage sila, and tactics din. Siguro kailangan nila ng mas magandang taktika. Pag-aralan nilang ginagawa ng Todak pati yung ibang team para malaman lang kung paano sila mababawian.
Yun. Speaking of mababawian, mukhang ito na. ang UMB, tinatry nilang bumawi dito at na-revive na rin yung kanilang player na namatay kanina, pero Icon, Flame. Talagang walang takot itong si Flame. Lagi siyang nauuna. Frontliner, mga kaibigan, itong si Flame, using that SMG. But right now, Umbrella Reborn, naamoy si Flame, medyo mainit. Sabi ng Umbrella Reborn, Sir naman ay merong ini-sprayan dito at nabawasan yun ng kahit konti, pero yun nga, kailangan niya lumapit sa kanyang mga kampi kasi nga yung mga players na nakasama niya na sila iPads, Cas at si Error ay nandun sa other side, and now yung push ng Icon ay nasa side na niya. So napakahirap to if ever man na ma-stuck si Edge at Sir dito sa gitna. Parang sinandwich siya ng kanyang team at yung kalaban nilang team.
Oo nga eh. Ang tanong kasi doon, kung paano magiging backup, nakita natin si Edge at Sir, marami naman siyang glue wall, pero sa tingin ko hindi niya gagamitin basta-basta. Ayaw niyang sayangin doon, especially at this moment. Nakikita natin ang ating safe zone na paliit na nga, and mukhang Icon, they have the tendency na to gatekeep Umbrella Reborn right now. Ang tanong, paano ang iwas na gagawin? Kung iiwas man Umbrella Reborn, there you go, Rids! Tingin ng iPans at Edge at Sir has been taken down as well.
Uy! Napakabilis naman nun. And right now, mukhang isa na lang ata ang natitira or dalawa probably for Umbrella Reborn as Cas and Error will try to go out of that vicinity. And right now, ito, Bloody Heads naman, kami naman ang tatapos sa inyo, and Cas will get taken down dito sa Gedli. And that is because of Maute ng Bloody Heads. Pero kailangan mag-ingat dito ni Morgana. Morgana, nasa kanan mo na yung team ng Icon. Baka sumabog pa ang iyong sasakyan, pero Error right now, siguro ang gagawin na lang na dito, tiis muna, tiis ganda, tiis pogi muna si Error dito para at least masabi niya na pwede ng umabante papunta dun sa loob ng bilog. Pero still, men, itong Icon, ayaw nilang papasukin yung Umbrella Reborn.
Gatekeep sa gatekeep, ginagawa ng mga tropa natin ng Icon. Lalo na nakakita sila ng ibang team. And if possible na Bloody Heads nga ang makaka-gatekeep naman sa kanila, naunahan na sila using those vehicles and the tables will be turned. Now, ang tanong, si Error kaya mabubuhay sa sitwasyon na yon, or will they be the first team to be eliminated? Oh, man, and they're going in for the hit against Shanks. Shanks na nga, una pinawagsak dito, and Icon is no stopping them. Bloody Heads right now, despite of the positioning, sila pa rin talaga yung sinusugod ng mga tropa natin ng Icon. And here comes Flame together with the rest of the team going in for this rush, and Flame right now healing up. Morgana will be going for that shot and for that takedown. Flame will be extinguished.
Extinguish, mga kaibigan, pero ito na kami yung mukhang bumabawi dito. And right now on the kill feed then we have TDK at AKO ang naglalaban, pero Morgana mukhang galit na dito na wala pala si Shanks at binatuan na ng granada, kaso nga lang wala ng tao doon. Pagbato ko ulit doon sa may puno at nandoon ang buong Icon. And right now, let's see kung sasabog nga doon yung granada at mukhang walang nangyari, Neptune. And right now, they're just putting pressure dito sa Icon. And there you go, nakita na nga natin yung bounce doon galing kay Morgana. Kailangan nilang ituloy lang to para ma-eliminate nila itong Icon.
Yeah, definitely. Icon is a force to be reckoned with. Kailangan matanggal nila agad ito sa listahan. Pero ito na nga po, hindi agad nakabawi dito. And Mark ang nakabawi sa mga tropa natin. Morgana is already down. Mark and Maute are the only two members of Bloody Heads right now. AKO Ligers eliminated na sa laban na yon. And here comes Icon going against one member of Bloody Heads. See? Mark and Maute is stuck in this corner habang tatlo pa mga tropa natin ng Icon, and looking in the map right now, hindi lang sila ang nandun pa rin si Error na tumatakbo papunta sa safe zone, and mukhang malilikuran ata sila dito just in case Error is prepared to fight.
And right now, you can see the overhead view here. We have Todak and OVD. Ito yung sinasabi natin, kung magta-third party ka, talagang kunin mo na yung third party na yun habang nagre-recover pa yung isang team na kumalaban sa AKO, which is actually yung TDK. But right now, TDK is still very, very busy. Affix pala ay nawala na nga dito. So it's just a 3-man strong para sa TDK or Todak and Geek Fam right now. Itong Geek Fam na to, talagang gustong-gusto lang talaga nilang mag-third party, pero right now mukhang medyo nasa lower ground sila, nasa taas yung kalaban nila, which is yung Orange Esports na napakasarap. And right now, mukhang eksakto lang ang pagpasok nyo dun sa veranda. And right now, ayun na ang Raygan, mga kaibigan. Uy, pinaramdam dun sa Orange Esports. At si Goku, kailangan niya ng Magic Bean kasi hindi na siya mabubuhay dito. And right now, Oren will be able to get trapped as well. And H2G Shadow naman on the kill feed, knocking down yung isang player ng strip shot. Napabilis ng mga dito. And Orange Esports kinain ng buhay ng Geek Fam.
Grabe, napakaganda naman ng pasok ni Man 04 doon. Saktong-sakto kung kailan palis na, no? Barangkada na yung motorsiklo. Man 04 jumping out from the window and taking them down. At isa na naman po ang natanggal sa ating mga tropa at 10 na lang natitirang kupunan dito. Error was able to revive Kaz and ito talaga, no? Survival instinct ang ginawa dito ni Error. Nabuhay nga siya tapos na ibalik niya si Kaz dito. Ang tanong, paano mabubuhay si Kaz? Kasi kung nakikita natin sa map natin ngayon, no, mukhang doon siya mapupunta sa gitna ng Icon at Bloody Heads ulit.
And right now, Icon mukhang ginulat doon yung isang player ng Umbrella Reborn. Cass mawawala na nga. And remember, Neptune, yung yung Umbrella Reborn, talagang hirap na hirap kanina pa makapasok. And right now, they're still having some hard time. Talagang hirap na hirap pa rin sila dahil nga sa Icon na to. And right now, yung Bloody Heads din ay talagang gustong third party at i-eliminate yung Icon. Kanina pa sila nagbabantay sa Gedli-Gedli. And right now, Morgana trying to get a really good angle para dito. And right now, Mark, nire-Regan na rin itong si Error. Error down to half HP. May glue wall pa doon para makakover siya. But right now, the circle is not within the reach. Napakalayo ata ng bilog dito sa side ng mga teams na to.
Yeah, yun ang mahirap eh. Kailangan mong pumili kung ano ba ipaprioritize mo. Pumatay ka ng kalaban o pumasok ka sa safe zone. If you are a team na talagang, Umbrella Reborn na pabagsak na nga dito. Error! Finally being taken down after surviving. At ayun, going to the point earlier, no? Ang pipiliin mo, papasok ka sa bilog o makikipagbakbakan nga to get those points, which ones ang ipaprioritize mo. But speaking of priority, mukhang ito pa rin, no? Icon is still in the battle against Bloody Heads and hard to get. Talagang hindi sila basta-basta nagpapatalo dito sa laban nila against Overdose.
And Overdose, let's see here kung makukuha nila itong H2G. And remember, Neptune, yung H2G, may maganda yung momentum nito from yesterday kasi iba yung laro nila from week 1 to week 2. Mas naging aggressive sila nung kalaban nila yung Group C, which is not normal nung week 1. Pero right now, on the kill feed, double TG ay may eliminate na nga isa sa mga teams na nagsastruggle talaga. At si Exact ay makaka-triple kill na nga. And right now, JC, I think, is trying to go for the revive para dito sa H2G at yung circle ay nag-move na rin or yung blue zone ay nag-move na rin and Overdose will get forced. Mapo-force sila na umalis na doon and this might be the time para i-push ng H2G itong Overdose Esports at nag-heal pa nga itong si Dadad or si Pin at si Stepdad na lang ang natitira for Overdose and right now naghahanap sila ng paraan para ma-box in nila itong team ng Overdose and right now ito na si Shadow aka Batman mga kaibigan, bahala na si Shadow and Insane, ako crazy Insane, pumasok na nga mga kaibigan, walang takot na pinasok ang team ng Overdose and Pin down to 10 HP left here and right now they will get eliminated men. H2G is now with 8 kills.
Grabe talaga H2G, no? Hindi sila hard to get talaga eh. Hindi sila madaling kalabanin. Pero ito na nga po, we have EWG right now. Bagsak ang isa. And here comes Geek Fam going in for the final member. And the shot is on Oren right now going in with his stance. And there goes Kaizen being taken down. At si Oren naman, buwian ni Monito. Monito is the only one remaining. And Man 04 going in for the flank. And there goes the takedown. Man 04 cleaning it up. Eagles Gang taken out as well as Icon on the other side.
And right now, mukhang hirap-hirap dito yung SSZ na headshot sa ulo ni Fikri. Yung isa sa kanila, wala nang bungo mga kaibigan. At isa na lang natitira for SSZ. Ito si Paren. Oy, Paren! Magtago ka na. Huwag ka na magtago dyan sa bato. Hindi hahanapin ka na Geek Fam and Geek Fam. 13 kills Neptune ang Geek Fam. What a way to start this matchup para sa Malaysian team na Geek Fam. Pero yun nga lang men, may dalawa pang Pilipinong team ang buhay pero may dalawa ring Malaysian team ang buhay dito, TLK at Geek Fam. Syempre doon tayo sa mga Pinoy pero men, baka maglaban ang Bloody Heads at yung H2G kasi magkatabi sila.
Well, posible, no? Pero ito na nga, makikita natin si Oren papunta kay Mark. And si Mark, tamang tago-tago lang sa Get Lead. At ang mukhang ang target ng mga tropa natin ng Geek Fam is TDK and Todak, no? Is stuck in corner, stuck in that boulder. Kung saan hindi siya maalis, tatlo ang bumabalin sa kanya. And on the other side, hard to get right now might also join into this engagement. Posible ito kung saaling madadivert yung attention ng mga tropa natin ng Geek Fam onto hard to get those members of TDK will be able to survive. Pero ito na nga, mukhang si Pedro ata ang susunod target na nabagsak dito. And Geek Fam is still alive already. Their sights against hard to get.
And right now, exact kung ini-snipan na tong mga H2G. Pero yun nga, si Pedro ay nabibiktima dito. Pedro Carias, huwag ka na dyan. Sa live comment section ka na lang. Sabi ng Geek Fam. And Todak matotodas at 4th place. And still, man, malaki pa rin ang chance na Pinoy ang mananalo dito. Pero man, Geek Fam is spicy hot right now. And Mano 4, walang takot na pinako ng H2G, mga kaibigan. Tatlo, laban sa isa. At paikot-ikot siyang pumush dito sa H2G. Pero mali ang pinasukan mong liga, tol. And right now, mananakdown naman dito ang H2G. Man, tatlo pa ang buhay. 14 Geek Fam and hard to get. Magiging easy para sa Geek Fam. And it's now gonna be a 1v4 situation, man.
1v4 situation, 19 kills na mga tropa natin ng Geek Fam and 1 remaining and Mark, and there goes the 20th kill for the side of Geek Fam. Geek Fam on this day. Match number 1, taking the first booyah!
And booyah for Geek Fam. And man, how many kills meron sila dun? I think siguro 20, no? Grabe. Grabe talaga tong Geek Fam, men. Hindi ko alam kung anong kinain nila this Friday or maybe even this weekend na meron tayo ngayon. At ayun, napaka-pogi mo, tol. And right now, they are very, very happy with their performance. And syempre, matutuwa yung Geek Fam organization sa ginagawa nila. Pero yun nga, men, Geek Fam loves to get those kills. And kita-kita natin, men, sa previous day, yung kahapon, they are already with 113 kill points bago pa mag-start ng match na to. And actually, sila ang pinakamaraming kill points sa lahat ng mga teams na kasali dito sa MCP Major Season 3.
Definitely, no? Ito, unang laro pa lang ng mga tropa natin ng Geek Fam, talagang sinarado nila yung space sa pagitan nila ng Blacklist International, no? I mean, I don't know kung ma-overtake na nila yung Blacklist at this point, pero sobrang dikit na lang magiging labanan pagdating sa puntos. At hindi pa maglalaro ang Blacklist International. So may chance pa ang mga tropa natin ng Geek Fam na lakihan yung abante nila. At siguro yung nagiging taktika ng mga tropa natin ng Geek Fam. Kasi napansin nila kahapon na maganda yung performance nila, pero kinulang pa at nakabawi naman ng Blacklist towards the part na sila na yung naglalaro. So, kailangan ma-maintain ng Geek Fam yung ganitong momentum, and not just for 1 game or 2 games, they have to bring it all for all matches na maglalaro sila ngayong gabing ito.
And right now, looking back on the highlights, talagang dinadaan ng Geek sa dinadaan ng Geek sa long range battle kapag hindi pa natatapos yung laban. Like around maybe 4 teams left. Long range pa rin yung ginagawa nila, pero by the time na yung konti na lang, 2 na lang kalaban nila, talagang nilalapitan nila at binabox in nila. And actually, maganda yun, Neptune, kasi nga, hindi sila matatamaan ng mga bala ng mga ibang teams kung meron pang ibang buhay, diba? So, again, Geek Fam with that strategy would definitely give them a lot of points and maybe be the number 1 team by the end of this league stage. And ito na nga, mga kaibigan, papasok na uli kami sa spaceship ni Beef Mami.
Hello, welcome ulit mga casters. And grabe talaga yung labanan for our first day here. First match, honestly, in day number 2, week number 2. Geek Fam, sobrang lakas, especially nung si Exact. He's basically like, ninanakaw niya yung mga kills ng H2G. Basically, getting rid of Todak. For me, feeling ko sobrang highlight talaga yun kasi they were just chilling dun sa taas, diba? So biglang yung H2G, sobrang distracted lang nila and eventually also getting taken out. Grabe yung kills nila. Feeling ko yung points that they racked up, especially with that Booyah, is definitely going to be very intense. And now that we finally get to have Geek Fam get a lot of these points, I have a feeling baka mag-cross over sila sa 30-point mark. Neptune, do you think it's possible for them to reach those double digits?
Yeah, I mean, they already have, if we're not mistaken, 20 kills na sila doon, plus the Booyah points that they have, it is a total of 32. So, well, sa ganung puntos pa lang, no, looking at the ending from from yesterday, makikita natin makaka-overtake nila ng ganung kadali na lang ang number 1 team natin. Nagtapos ka.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then speaking of the points that we were just talking about, ito ang standings natin for match number 1 in Purgatory. And just like that, 32 points nga. Sobrang galing talaga nung calculation ni Sir Neptune at the moment. Di kasi ako magaling sa math kaya kailangan kitang tanungin. But anyway, Booyah number 1 for today, and grabe, we expected nothing less from Geek Fam themselves, this very wonderful team from Malaysia. And you can see 32 points. That is not a joke. 32 points is definitely hard to get. But speaking of the team hard to get, 18 points already to their name. So that's gonna be good as well. Alam ko nung 13-minute mark, I was just watching you guys casting. 8 kills na agad sila. So definitely that's going to be very impressive as well. Obviously, it's not as big as the 20 as we see over here. Pero syempre, they still got a bunch of kills into the last second as well. So they do have 10 kill points. So yun nga, Bloody Heads, the Philippines looks like they're being strong at the moment with Bloody Heads with 14 kills and 14 points, I mean. Icon going in for that 4th spot with the 12. Todak as well in the 12. So medyo natanggal sila a little bit early on kasi nga na-sandwich sila between Geek Fam pati hard to get. But yeah, taking a look at the scores in the right side, AKO Ligers, sobrang nagsastruggle talaga sila with the points every single time. I feel like they finally found that competition. But now speaking of the competition and its MVPs, Geek, take a look at that. It's
Full
all
house.
Geek Fam, all across the board. Kuku, tinan mo to, 7 kills for Exact.
Wow, exact. 7 kills, man. Lucky number 7 for him. Pero yun nga, man, ito yung pinakamaganda sa lahat. Lahat kayo MVP. I mean, you can just say Geek Fam, the whole team is the MVP, not just Exact. Kasi kung wala si Oren, wala si Fikri, wala si Mano4, hindi magagawa yun na Exact, diba?
Grabe talaga. Post-match data that we see here. Sobrang galing ng, I think first time na nakita natin na lahat ng Geek Fam or any one team, sila lahat ng MVP. So, mainit na mainit talaga ang simula ngayon ng Geek Fam at sino ang makaka-trump for them when it comes to the points. Maybe we'll see Do Easy later on and maybe even Blacklist International. But as you see, A and B are gonna fight it into our next matchup. Bermuda ang nating next map. Neptune, sa mga bagong players natin for Free Fire, ano ang basically isang tanong to ask everyone kung ano yung pinakamagandang way to just blaze into the competition?
Yeah, especially you mentioned about Bermuda, no? And also to blaze into the competition. When you're going into the map, just stay out in the open unless meron kayo mga equipments. Kanina nabanggit natin how important the glue walls are as well as a compound. So kung walang compound, go ahead, pick up those glue walls and then use them to avoid being shut down. Now, kung wala naman kayo doon, it's also a good point to use some long-range weapon para malayo pa lang makikita mo na kung sino pwedeng humarang sa inyo.
Exactly. Kailangan mo talaga mangharang kasi kung wala kang glue wall, kung wala kang building, doon natin nakikita na dadali talaga yung mga ibang teams. So yan, Kuku. With that in mind, yun na nga yung medyo may advice tayo coming in for the players. Yung mga players, syempre, alam natin, they got buffed because of the skins that we have here today. So, Kuku, ito may Skull Hunter AK box na possibly for the stream. What are you gonna do when you do get this box?
Well, itong mga pabalat ng Free Fire, napakaganda. So, kung anong gagawin ko sa mga pag-giveaway na to, syempre gagamitin ko Beef Mommy. Syempre, pagka nagkaroon ka ng skin, di ba, syempre nakakalakas yan ng tutok. Di ba? Especially kapag meron kang glue wall skin. Pero to, it's an AK box. So definitely kapag mag-AK, gagamit ka ng AK, baka mamaya wala ka ng recoil, di ba? Napakaganda ng beef.
Di ba? Alam natin may mga, yung every time you have a skin, di ba? Medyo iba yung capacity nung skins yan. And definitely using in a situation that will give you an advantage can definitely give you an edge about your competitors. Anyway, speaking of yung competition natin here today, really blazing hot start for Geek Fam today. Let's see kung consistent sila here in Bermuda. Kasi alam natin from yesterday, sobrang galing pa rin nila no matter the map that they're in. Pero ngayon, syempre, it's a new day, it's a new dawn. And tignan natin kung maybe Overdose Esport can try to make a difference because I feel like medyo nahirapan sila dun sa first matchup. And Neptune, ano yung basically yung tanong for everyone here? Because I feel like Geek
Well, I think they're already on a roll based on their performance, especially pag nagsisimula sila. But at some point, pagdating doon, as second half na naglalaro sila, at some point, medyo nagda-die down yung performance. So hopefully, they keep the momentum even after each break, or kung wala man silang break, at least they keep themselves, hindi sila mapapati.
Definitely. But speaking of fatigue, dapat di mangyari yun because we're just about to lift off, going back into Earth. But we are going into Planet Bermuda. So casters, dito na, cast na kayo. Let's get it on.
At papasok uli kami papalabas ng spaceship ni Beef Mommy Neptune. And right now, we are in match number 2, week 2, day number 2. Ito na mga kaibigan, babalik tayo dito sa Bermuda. And when you talk about Bermuda, man, alam mo na kung sino yung gigitna dito.
Oo, marami mga tropa natin dito talagang pupunta sila sa gitna at they are going to get their position. No? Kukunin nila yung, especially yung peak na alam naman natin na magandang pwestuhan ng mga tropa natin. Pero ang tanong kasi, di ba nabanggit natin, usually Geek Family pumupunta doon, meron kayang magko-contest dito. But if you look at the map right now, we have AKO Ligers on the far right, Cape Town, we have Eastern Wolves Gang on Sentosa, hard to get going into the peak. And then from afar, mga tropa natin ng Todak and Bloody Heads, mukhang sila ang magkakaharap dito on Mars Electric. So papunta sila kay Mars, paring kuko.
Oo, Bruno Mars, mga kaibigan. Pero to, Bloody Heads, TDK, magandang laban to. We haven't seen this battle yet that much. Pero let's see kung sino yung mananalo. Medyo nag-drop si Shanks dito sa labas ng Mars Electric. So medyo mahirap yun. Mauunahan sila ng loot. And yun na nga yung sinasabi ko, men. Spark right now has the gun. Morgana, ay, down na parang para sa goal. And right now, Spark will try to eliminate everyone in his name. And Maute will be the second one to be down. And ito na nga, men, 2v3 situation na nga sinasabi natin dito. Spark ay marirevet agad-agad na kanyang mga teammates. Napakabilis ng Todak when it comes to recovery dito sa laban na to. And right now, Mark still alive. Down to 10 HP left. Pedro Carias, mga kaibigan, ay ngayon na nga tutuluyan itong mga players ng Bloody Heads and Shanks. Takbo na.
Takbo, Shanks!
Takbong magnanakaw na tong si Shanks, mga kaibigan.
I mean, alam mo yun, ang hirap na naging sitwasyon nila. Unang-una sa lahat, dalawa yung bumaba doon. They have the advantage, pero naunahan sila pagkuha ng baril by Todak. And then, one by one, napabagsak na nga sila doon. And Shanks has no choice. Talagang walang no choice kundi tumakbo. Para ito na nga, walang no choice din. Crazy GG will be taken down. And grip shots right now going in for those hit and overdose right now. Ito na isa pang team. Walang no choice na naman. Mukhang tatakbo na naman sila dito. Napakalayo ni Dada dito kay Pin and kay Achap. And si Achap dito, tamang may chance pa siya maapag-loot. Siguro mag-aabang lang kung meron pa nga habol sa kanila from side of script shots.
And right now, Overdose Esports, isa sa mga teams na actually I didn't expect na mapasok sila within that top 6 actually. Coming in this day, and right now, even though na talagang hirap na hirap sila sa ibang teams, they're able to actually find a way to get booyahs in the previous days. Pero Circle is actually focusing on the northern side ng ating mapa, and a lot of teams, man. Sobrang daming teams ang nasa ilalim. We have Icon, we have actually one player from H2G, EWG, Bloody Heads, TDK, meron pang Geek Fam dun sa ilalim, and then there's a lot of teams coming from the western side na baka maglaban-laban. Itong Orange Esports saka Umbrella Reborn. Nakita natin sila na nahirapan nung match number 1 kanina. Pero right now, looks like yung Circle ay papabor sa kanila, especially itong Overdose and Script Shots.
Yeah, definitely. And kung makikita natin ng Geek Fam, they are also moving in onto the circle. They have already had their position kung saan malapit na sila sa gilid ng zone. But I think they're trying to go in for another position, and they're going and heading into hard to get. And hard to get right now, mo nakikita na nga ng mga tropa natin ng Icon, and man is going in for the hit against JC. But JC will be moving away from this fight, at Icon na nga babalik dito sa mga tropa natin. Magre-regroup sila dahil kailangan nilang bumawi dito. Posible silang malikuran ng mga tropa natin ng Geek Fam, but hard to get. JC is moving up as well, also going in for that regroup.
Yan, mahirap yan. Malilikuran ka para ang si Jose Rizal. Saan binarel? Sang L binarel? Sa likod, di ba? Pero yun nga, men, Icon going on the side naman sa Geek Fam. Pero this is gonna be a really good matchup here. Two Malaysian teams na malakas mag-engage, and Geek Fam, ayun na nga sinasabi ko. Exact, anong MVP, sabi ng Icon. Hindi ka mag-MVP ngayon, papatayin ka namin. And right now, mukhang si Rids naman ay nabiktima ng ligaw na bala coming from Fikri, and Fikri again with that sniper, man. Kanina pa to, humiheadshot sa ulo, at meron pa kasamang Kami-Ami wave dun sa Gedli. And right now, Oren will try to go for the push. And right now with that Chronosphere, meron siyang chance na ma-revive to, pero hindi kinasin yung revive. And Icon right now, bulat na bulat dun sa push ni Oren, and Neo na lang ang natitira dito for team ng Icon. Actually, meron pa isa, and man will get taken down, and Neo needs help here, pero no. Fikri with that last kill, and Oren triple kill na ang Geek Fam, continuing, man, their dominance here sa league stage.
Grabe talaga mga tropa natin ng Geek Fam, no? Kita-kita, ramdam na ramdam mo yung galit nila dito sa laban na to. Talagang merong bumabalid sa labas, merong sumusugod sa likod. Fikri doing a great job and spotting all those long-range shots. Tapos yung mga tropa naman natin dito who are going in for the rest of the teams, yung tatlong miyembro, were going in for that rush. Yung positioning nila, kita-kita nila kung paano nila ipipinch yung mga nag-ipon-ipon, especially nagre-revive na kalaban. Now, we'll have to find out. Speaking of revive, Dadad and Razy GG will be back from the revive and they will be regrouping dito sa mga tropa natin ng overdose. On the other side, ang mga tropa naman ng Double TG, No Name, Zine, GG, and I think there's two more members in here needs to get their position better dahil pag napaharap na nga sila sa ibang mga tropa na papasok dito sa area to, especially for the side of overdose, they might be taken down easily.
Pero when you talk about now, Pin, medyo naspatan na niya itong mga orange esports. Nangangamoy prutas daw. Sabi ni Pin, naaamoy ko na ang orange.
Nangangamoy asim.
Oo, maasim. Itong sila Goku. Pero, men, itong overdose, napaka play safe sila ngayon. And you don't usually see them na ganito. Kasi if you look at their scores kahapon, very, very much okay naman sila sa kills. They have 68 kill count before this day even started. So right now, na-knockdown na nga ni Pin, itong si Goku, they're actually using the distance right now para ma-knockdown at matamaan itong mga players ng Orange Esports. And right now, I'm not sure kung gagalaw pa sila dito. Remember na nasa loob sila ng bilog. So for me, siguro it's best for them na magstay na lang dito sa lugar na to.
Yeah, and then looking at their position, ang ganda ng pwestuhan nila. They have 3 towers in there above the water. Hindi sila basta-basta alam mo yung magi-gatekeep or ma-flank from that area. They have a good position against Orange Esports and they are in the middle of everyone else. So just turn around, posible sila makakita, maka-snipe from afar. But speaking of afar, Umbrella Reborn, mukhang ito na nga yung struggle nila mula kanina pa, no? Alam naman natin, nabanggit natin kahapon kung gaano kakunat ang Umbrella Reborn, pero mukhang hindi na sila makunat. Malutong na sila ngayon. Dahil ang bilis na nilang mapitas. Tapos lagi pa silang naiiwan sa labas ng bilog.
Totoo yan. Malutong, makunat. Kahit ano pa yan, malambot, matigas. Pero let's see kung sino talaga ang mananalo at makakuha ng buya. Pero again, men, Geek Fam using that technique, men. This is a technique na ginagawa ng SAF nung last year, which is now called Beta Esports. But men, anong ginagawa ng EWG dyan sa ilalim?
Tambay lang.
Nagtatampisaw sa blue zone, men. The new meta.
Ay, it's okay lang sana, no? Okay lang sana na first, pero ito papunta na sila sa third in a bit, medyo malayo unless meron sila mga sakyan and they're doing the same thing as Shanks is doing. And speaking of Shanks, no, ito na nga yung pinapakita niya na they have a chance to regroup, no? Mauha ng mga teammates from the revive, and that's what I love about this game. It extends the time as well as increase the chances of taking those kills dahil may mga magbabalik, may mga marirevive dito that has been, yung mga teams na napabagsak at the points is already in there.
And right now, H2G1 gets taken down. Ang hirap neto for H2G, napaka-open nila dito, men. Sana at least kumuha sila muna ng compound kasi grabe, 4 na teams ata yung nandito sa paligid-ligid nila. Pero on the kill feed right now, Shahid, mapapag-down rather itong isang player. Pero OBD right now, getting H2G out of this map. And right now, Dodak versus the team of Geek Fam. Ito na nga, nakatapat. Dodak versus Geek. Napakagandang laban na ito. Fikri right now. Ito na nga mga kaibigan, nag-sprayan, harap-harapan sa pagbumuka. And quadrakin na nga si Oren, men. And Dodak, unti-unting nawawala, unti-unting nababawasan na kanyang buhay. Petro Carias ay mananakdown na rin. And Dodak, matutodas na naman ng Geek Fam with 8 kills. Ang dami.
Grabe. I mean, Geek Fam, nakikita ko kanina, no? When they started engaging, nung nakita natin sila, palit-palitan lang yung knockdown. Tapos unting napupunta yung momentum sa side ng Geek Fam and they are not just letting go. Hindi sila umaatras dahil mababa na yung HP. No! Let's go! Let's push! Dahil alam nila na kaya nilang pabagsakin at i-clear up, squad wipe itong mga tropa natin na nandito na makakalaban nila. And that is a motivation, possible motivation ng mga tropa natin ng Geek Fam. They know how aggressive they are and they can work it out on those aggressions. Speaking of aggression, there goes the fight. Aggressive fight against the AKO Ligers and WTG. We'll have to find out who's sino ang mananalo dito sa laban na to. And Ezola will be taking down Caps right now, trying to defend themselves. An AKO Likers Paytan has been taken down. And it is Kyonsla that will be picked up at Zain GG naman na mapapabagsak. And those gunshots has been heard. EWG from the other side as well as Hard to Get might be targeting them in a few.
And grabe yung ginawa doon ng AKO Ligers. Talagang walang takot nilang pinasok. Kaso nga lang, WTG, ready doon sa ginawang push ng AKO Ligers. Pero right now, we have EWG. Paano sila nakapunta dito? Yun ang tanong talaga. Neptune, nandito na sila sa gitna. Kailangan na natin tawagin si Moises. Hatiin ang river na to, ang ilog na to, men. And right now, men, still, nasa labas pa rin ang Geek Fam. And this is what I'm talking about, men. Nasa labas lang sila, men, and nag-aantay sila ng may tatabi sa kanila. At kapag may tumabi sa kanila, talagang sila ang mananalo kasi mas malakas sila sa engagement. And right now, EWG at saka yung OVD. And ito si Stepdad ay down to half HP. And right now, Stepdad, anong ginagawa mo dyan? What are you doing, Stepdad? Right now, let's see here, Akap. Mukhang mapapaakap na nga dito sa pader. Kasi nga, sila ay binabarel ng team ng EWG.
EWG right now, ang mga Magikerong team, no? Nagte-teleport ata itong mga to from afar hanggang sa gitna ng circle nakarating sila. And I think it will be a help of that vehicle na nakita natin sa minimap, but we'll have to find out, no? Ano kaya yung magiging advantage nila dito against Overdose, as Overdose talagang na-maintain nila yung position nila kanina, and there's a way for them to back out. But if they back out, may mga teams na nag-aabang sa kanila like Geek Fam as well as some of around them from the north. But speaking of around, here comes Umbrella Reborn is back around, and Script Shots is going in for the hit against them.
And right now, itong si pa rin ay hawak ang kanyang katana, mga kaibigan. Parang gustong magbatusay dito sa Free Fire. Pero right now, iPans mo ang nagluwal dito. Naglalaban sila harap-harapan ng SSC. And iPans right now is gonna get pushed by two members of team ng SSC. Scriptions right now using the double vector magtanggol itong si player ng SSC. Pero siya ang mananakdown na si iPans. And right now pa rin will try to go to his teammate para ma-revive siya. Kaso nga lang, iPans na abantay dito sa fence sa labas ng compound. And iPans right now gustong manakit, gustong saksakin sa leeg. Mga kaibigan, itong mga players ng SSC. Kaso nga lang siya ang masasaksak sa leeg.
Nagkamali ng pasok.
Down to 52 HP, men. At napakaganda ng laban dito. Umbrella Reborn. May isa pang boy dito, men. Anong ginagawa nila? Ba't sila nagre-revive? Error. Ini-snipe harap-harapan. Ang player ng SSC, si Paren, ay ikaw na nga ay mananakdown ni Paren with that double vector magpanggol, men. And Umbrella Reborn will take off. Babalik na sila sa spaceship ni Beef Mommy.
Nawala ang kunat ng Umbrella Reborn, no? Lumutong man o lumambot, sabi mo nga, no? Yan ang nangyayari sa Umbrella Reborn, and hopefully they wakes up from what's happening right now. And speaking of what's happening, ito nga, no? Mga tropa natin ng Geek Fam, inuubos yung balal dito, and we're not seeing anyone there just yet, but they're assuming that there are some blue walls na lumalabas, lumilitaw doon, so they have some cover. And I think it is hard to get ang tinatarget ng mga tropa natin dito din, and Overdose right now is a good view against them. And let's see how will they survive. And Geek Fam still outside of the zone, keeping themselves out, and there goes Man 04.
Wow.
Hard to get Shadow, no? Talagang pinaglaanan nila ng panahon, ng resources para lang mas squad wipe nila ang hard to get, dahil alam nila na mahihirapan sila mamaya na talunin to. But speaking of which, natatalo mo ang double TG, ang matatalo dito dahil dalawa na nga bumagsak, and EWG right now is gatekeeping them.
And right now, EWG, ito yung pinoint out ko nung kanina. Wala pa silang buya. And right now, they're able to actually get at least a really good placing sa ating overall standing. And WTG, while I'm talking, men, will get eliminated. Ito na nga, men. We have, actually, all of them are now Malaysian teams. So, wala na ang mga Filipino teams natin. Pero Ray, men, sinagad sa pagmumuka. Itong si Tuas ng team ng EWG, ito yung nga, tinamaan siya doon ng utility coming from EWG, pero ito na yung Overdose Esports, gaganda ito. Walang lalabas, walang uuwi. Kami ay magtatapon lahat ng granada sa inyo, EWG. Anong Eastern Wolves Gang? Ito na kami, ang EWG and Overdose Esports. Ito na nga, men, nanakaw na nga nila dito, yung EWG, and what a play there coming from Pin ng Overdose Esports, at si Monito Manita na lang ata ang natitira, men, for Eastern Wolves Gang.
Medyo malayo na si Monita sa sa Christmas, medyo maaga pa. But Monito right now, in here, going solo, walang no choice kundi mag-abang ng susunod na puntos. And overdose, kanina pa sila dito, so familiar na sila dito sa pwesto na to. And alam na nila pasikot-sikot and they can gatekeep anyone. They have Geek Fam on one side, we have Orange Esports on the other side, Script Shots naman na nandito, or Script Shots on the other side. At Orange Esports ang kinakalaban ng mga tropa natin dito ng Geek Fam din. So, dalawang kalaban ng Geek Fam dito and Geek Fam will be eliminated. Wala, hindi sila nakapasok sa tubig doon at napakaganda pa rin ng pwesto ng Overdose dito sa position nila, hindi sila umaalis.
Oo, tama yan. Strong position indeed na meron sila. Pero men, nagulat ako sa circle. Men, one court na lang yung land area. So again, tawagin si Moises. Hatiin ang tubig, mga kaibigan. Pero right now, Script Shots is the new kill leader, men. They already have 8 kills. And Shahid, galit na galit. Ayaw papasukin ang mga orange, mga kaibigan. And Jabad, mag-jabate na dito. And they are now eliminated in this game. Ito na nga, men, 3 teams remaining. Buhay pa rin ang SSC, buhay pa rin ang Overdose Esports. Overdose down to 2 players left. Ako, medyo disadvantage to sa kanila. Malaking disadvantage. It's a 4v2 situation. Pero yun na nga, ginagamit nila ang blue wall dito. Uy! Uy! Nabulag! Pati mga caster, hindi na natin alam kung anong nangyayari. And right now, talunan sa tubig, mga kaibigan. Talon sa tulay. Talon na tayo dito sa tubig. Mag-swimming na tayo kasi summer naman. And right now, Overdose will get eliminated. And sino pa ba? Natitira, men?
Si Monito na lang ata natitira dito versus side of EWG, no? Script Shots with 4 members. Monito right now going in for that hit. Pero ito na nga po, no? Script Shots pa rin going in for that final kill. And also, the booyah right now. Script Shots making their first booyah of this tournament.
And Script Shots, hindi to scripted, men. Pero sila nanalo. Hindi scripted yan, pero sila nakabuya. Pero yun nga, men, when you talk about Script Shots, talagang hinold na nila yung position nila doon. And hindi sila nag-back out sa EWG kahit sobrang pinressure din sila. So ang daming naging reset doon na ginawa ng Script Shots. Pero, di ba, kitang-kita natin dito yung isa nilang player, nag-aayos pa ng buhok, men. Napaka-pogi mo, men. And right now, they're just, chilling around here and maybe again, try to reset again kasi yung Script Shots, men, if you talk about Script Shots, yata sila, Group A yata sila if I'm not mistaken. So if they are on Group A, kailangan nilang magpahinga ng 2 games since this is the game number 2, end of game number 2 na tayo, diba? So again, it's gonna be a big reset for them kung kailangan nilang gawin to, and then eventually kapag balik nila when they will battle against Group C, syempre nandun pa rin yung momentum like what happened yesterday. Pero right now, you can see the highlights, Todak versus Geek Fam. I thought na yung Todak na mananalo dito, pero again, Geek Fam talagang ang kunat, men. Ang tigas ng mga ulo, ng mga bungo ng Geek Fam. And they are able to actually get a lot of kills din, no, Neptune?
Yeah, bago sila ma-eliminate on number 5, marami sila nakuhang kills. And it's because of the positioning that they have right now. There you go, 10 kills. And it is when they were stuck on that area doon sa gilid ng Beg 2 kung saan sila napabagsak ng mga tropa na Overdose. Pero ito na nga, they have a lot of kills already and I don't think they will be too far down on the overalls or on the standings for this match. Pero at ako, masasabi ko talaga dito, humanga ako dito kay Monito. Kasi ano yun, you were not expecting Monito going solo against 2 teams and surviving there. And yun nga, bago pa siya napabagsak dito, talagang nagkahanapan na but pa rin was able to look for them. And oh my goodness, Script Shots taking this booyah right now. And gusto kong marinig ang puntos dito mamaya, no, pagpasok, dahil pumapasok na nga tayo sa planetang Beef Mommy. Gusto kong marinig ang puntos ni Beef Mommy dito tungkol sa laban na.
Welcome, of course. Syempre, sobrang nagutom talaga ako dun sa I wanted to get Beef Mommy. I really wanted to go eat kasi sobrang grabe talaga yung labanan. Geek Fam eliminated and pretty much that late rotation dun sa final circle, dun sa may tubig. That was like very unfortunate for them. Pero it's really nice to see Overdose trying to have a fight up against Geek Fam, diba? But then obviously Script Shots, basically really good ending for them. And first, Buya, alam natin na si Monito obviously really deserves a spotlight. Honestly, he was like bringing his team up because siya yung basically nagdadala sa team niya. I mean, obviously for him, a lot of his teammates really look up to him. So Monito, yan ang player to look at. I wanna see kung actually magiging MVP siya. So right now, Kuku, with Geek Fam being eliminated so early, ano yung nangyari sa kanila? Yung late rotation dun sa may tubig, bakit kaya di nila nag-rotate early?
Well, mahirap kasi mahirap mag-position dun sa circle na yun. Especially na mas marami yung water area kaysa sa land area. And they were actually coming from the south side ng bilog. So talagang mahirapan sila pumasok doon, magiging open sila. And kung nakita mo yung kanina, Beef Mami, nagbabarilan sila ng H2G pero natalo niya yung H2G. Pero pagdating nung time na yun na natalo na nila, syempre kailangan nilang mag-advance uli. So napaka-open ng area na yun and the glue walls cannot save them.
Yeah, absolutely. But speaking of advancing over here, let's look at the ranks. And obviously, number 1 is going to be Scriptshot with 24 points. Grabe. Ang dami nilang kills. Total points of 12 kills and rank points, you also going to be having 12. But taking a look at that, 1 up to 6, top 1 and 6, all Malaysian teams. Diba nabanggit nyo kanina, yung Philippines medyo natanggal na sila. And obviously, hard to get is going to be the top Philippine team at the moment, but with just 4 points. But now taking a look at yung sa kaliwang side of the chart right now, Overdose Esport doing an amazing job as well, having that 9 total kill points, 17 total points for them. Geek Fam though, not so far behind. You can see 16 points for them. So, impressive pa rin. 6 points will still be very good for them. And even though, yes, hindi sila nagkaroon ng buya, madami pa rin points yan for them to really just rank up, going up against Blacklist International later on. So now, E-Wolves gang, finally, medyo maayos na yung gameplay nila ngayon. Feeling ko nung day number 1, medyo nahirapan talaga sila. But yeah, all of these standings definitely will go and be accumulated into our overall standings that you can see over here. The standings, obviously, go, my goodness. Geek Fam, number 1, 243. Blacklist International have 20 points in between them and they get bumped down to number 2. Mahirap yan. Like what we keep saying kanina, don't be comfortable if you are Blacklist International kasi just like that, na-overtake na sila ng Geek Fam. Number 3 though, ito sa patong team na to, Do Easy definitely will try to go and not give Blacklist International an easy time. Todak, 193 up against Do Easy, hindi ba masyadong madaming points, especially from hard to get as well. So it's still very possible, especially going into, I think, even the number 6 spot for Overdose Esport with 185 total points. Very possible for them, especially the run that we saw Geek Fam have and be really consistent in both day 1 and day 2 here in week number 2. That's gonna be really good. So again, that's motivation for teams like Hard to Get and Todak to try and go and overtake Do Easy, pati Blacklist International and maybe even Geek Fam. Pero medyo mahirap yan kasi obviously hindi pa consistent masyado itong si Todak pati si Hard to Get. So ang dami pa nilang kailangan gawin in order to go and take over. And now Neptune, seeing Geek Fam finally take over Blacklist, ano sa tingin mo ang gagawin dapat ng Blacklist and now they're finally gonna be playing in match number 3?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this before. Blacklist can go and take those points back. Ang tanong kasi doon is, mawawalan ba ng diskarte ang Geek Fam? Because it's only when Geek Fam lost out to those battles on the second and third matches, that's when they lost the lead. But going into the MVP data, Beef Mami.
Oh, taking a look at that. 2 members from Overdrive already getting 2. Pen and Akap trying to get as much points as they can. But you can see here shots as well. Si Paren getting those 6 kills, obviously with the Vector, and having a total damage of 1,861. Pero the most out of everyone here is going to be Overdrive Spin. You two have 3,254 points. And now with all of the members of Geek Fam trying to really rely on Oren as a member, you need to go and find a way to really just be more consistent. I mean, yes, they're consistent, but if they really want to go and have a nice lead up against Blacklist International, you need to find your teammates. You need to have a really consistent matchup, especially if you have Fikri as a spotter for Geek Fam. He is the sniper for his team. Sobrang talento talaga niya, especially dun sa may long-range gunfights. And now, Kuku, if Fikri is out of the game early, pag wala na silang spotter, do you think kaya ng Geek Fam to just keep going without this one man?
Well, kaya pa rin nila in a sense na 3 months strong sila pero wala silang firepower from afar. Kasi si Fikri, pansin ko, lagi siyang nagsasnipe from a far distance para ma-knock down or ma-kill yung mga players na nakikita nila. And the other three are actually doing their job to actually engage up close and personal. So I think it's still a chance for Geek Fam to be able to win it all. Pero ito yung tanong dito Beef Mami. Dalawang game tapos na nila. Wala silang pahinga kagaya nung nangyari sa Group A. Tuloy-tuloy lang sila Game 3 and Game 4, ang kalaban na nila dito is yung Group of Death na sinasabi natin, which is Group C. So ang tanong dyan is, will they be able to maintain that consistency coming in the next 2 games?
Magandang tanong yan. Especially you are going up against Blacklist International, Vete Esports, and a lot more other teams. And syempre, Group A, medyo backseat pa muna, just a little bit. Maybe they might have some sort of fatigue. Medyo mahirap yan kasi nakita nga natin kahapon, di ba? Yung one team, I think it was Geek Fam na medyo nahirapan na, medyo nagkaroon na ng fatigue, especially going into the later games. But you know what? It won't really matter kasi kailangan maging consistent with whoever you try to go up against. But speaking of Road to Redemption, taking a look at that, ang ganda talaga ng trophy na to. Obviously, you'd want to get your hands on it. You can see that Season 1's winner is going to be Geek Fam. Season 2 will be Blacklist International. And so far, they are the front runners of the competition. Grabe. Ang init talaga ng labanan dito sa Fire MCP Major Season 3. And I want to be surprised. Ayoko nang may parehong winner dito because ang daming talentadong team talaga. So Neptune, if you do eventually get to see like another team, who do you think, apart from the teams na nasa top 3 natin, sino ang most likely na makakakuha ng trophy na to?
Well, Tumutok is likely to go in there. If I'm not mistaken, for the top 3, we have Geek Fam, we have Blacklist, and Do Easy. So Tumutok is next to them. Hard to get, as a good potential na rin para makabawi dito, no? And makakuha ng puntos. But the lead of the top 2 teams, medyo mahirap-hirap na yon, and especially as they go in against all those teams from both sides, especially for hard to get, diba? They go in for the first match, they go against Geek Fam. They go into the second set, they go against Blacklist International. So parang may chance pa na ma-pull down pa sila doon dahil malalakas yung mga nakakalaban nila.
Speaking of a chance to pull out a really cool item, tignan mo to, Skull Hunter AK Box. If meron ka neto, astig ka, you can definitely tell your friends, hey, I got the skin. You just have to watch the stream, guys. Share nyo lang yung stream na to, tag nyo mga kaibigan nyo so you can have really cool skills as well as we can have a really great time here in Free Fire. Once you do get to have this skin, make sure to screenshot and mention Free Fire. Tag the page, tag the YouTube channel. And if you're not watching in YouTube, watch in Facebook as well. Ang dali lang mag-open ng isang tab dyan tapos mag-double stream kayo, and obviously show some love for your teams. Show some love for the casters as well, not only here in the Filipino stream but also dun sa may English pati sa may bahasa. If Filipino ka, okay lang kahit di mo maintindihan yung bahasa, okay lang, just show your support for every single one and also love for our broad team. But anyway, speaking of love for all of these teams right now we're going into round number 3. Medyo mahirap na to kasi alam mo may momentum talaga ang Geek Fam. And if you're going to be in the Group C, how will you stop this momentum, Kuku?
Well, if I'm on Group C, again, we have here teams like Do Easy, Blacklist International, Vete Esports, Axis, and Ego. Sabihin na natin, tactical index, pwede rin siyang threat. However, yung gameplay nila kahapon talaga, parang week number 1. So for me, ang magiging pinaka-threat dito ng Group B would be Blacklist, Do Easy, and Vete and Axis. So for them na maglalaro na with Group B, for them to stop it is to actually just be on top of their gameplay. Blacklist International, dapat number 1 sila, pero ngayon number 1 yung Geek Fam because Geek Fam lamang sila sa games. Pero now napapasok na sila, definitely Blacklist International with their gameplay together with Zapnu, with Cobra. Nako po, iba na magiging laban na to. Siguro magiging for me magiging play safe na yung iba sa mga Group B. Kasi nga iba yung level ng gameplay na pinapakita nung Group C.
Absolutely. Can Group C stop the charge of Geek Fam? Makita natin in just a few seconds kasi definitely we are going to be leaving the Beef Mami spaceship as we go slowly right into the really amazing map that we love. Obviously, it's purgatory all over again. And now, before we even go and try to see what matches will be here, obviously our casters, our beautiful casters, will go in there, cast the maps really well. And I'm so excited to see what will happen, to see Group A and C battle things out. And here we go. Casters, ito na. Magsimula na tayo. Ito na ang bakbakan.
Ito na ang bakbakan at alis na kami sa Spaceship Beep Mami. And guys, sa mga nanonood dyan at naghahanap ng code, wala pang code mga kaibigan. Magantay kayo. And right now,
Abang-abang lang.
match number 3, week 2, day number 2, Neptune. Diba? Minsan nilalagay ni Pedro Arias yan sa code eh. Wala kang jowa. Natry mo na ba yung code na yun?
Alam naman natin kasi yung code talaga, padating yan, no? At makikita yan sa screen. So sa comment section, well, maraming beses na ako nakakita ng code dyan. Pag mukhang legit, pag minsan nahuhuli ako. Pero pag sinabi ni Pedro Arias na wala ang jowa, sa totoo lang, di ko naman kailangan ng jowa dahil meron na akong asawa. But anyways, balik tayo sa bakbakan. Medyo nalalayo ang ating usapan, pero ito na nga po mga tropa natin na ang Axis is going against Umbrella Reborn. No? Ang agresibong mga tropa natin ng Axis Esports right now is in here going in for the rush at Umbrella Reborn. No? Naibalik na kaya nila kanilang kunat at maalaban na sila dito sa mga tropa ng Axis. We have 2Pass GG going in for that grenade gameplay. At yan nga, nagpulasan ng mga tropa natin na si Ipan sa una din naman.
At napakaganda ng bato na yun. 2Fast Gentleman Gaming. Nandito na nga si Gentleman Gaming, nagkakast at naglalaro. Dalawa pa sila. Meron pa Neptune and right now Kaz going for that shot with him. SMG. Uy, 2Fast GG. Shinotgun sa pagbumuka, mga kaibigan, an error. Going for that shot dito sa side na to. And right now, this is going to be good for them. Pero yun nga lang, men. Na-knockdown din si Ejak Ser and Axis. Good day manager, sabi nga nila. An error right now. Mukhang tatakbo na lang siya dito sa Gedli, pero makikita siya agad-agad dito. Nila Pops, Neptune and Vegeta. At yun na nga, natamaan na nga sa likod mga kaibigan para sa Cersal. Ito si Error. And Error will still be alive if I'm not mistaken. No! They are eliminated already, man. Umbrella Reborn will get eliminated that easy. By the way, man, Axis, man, groups ito. Ito yung sinasabi ko, man. Pag nandito na yung Axis, nandito na yung Blacklist, nandito na yung Vete, sama mo pa yung Do Easy, mahihirapan yung Group B.
Correct, no? And nasabi mo nga, no, Ego Oblivions is also showing a lot of potential for those game and also for tactical intakes. No? Tactical intakes kahit paano nakakita tayo ng magandang potential from yesterday. Ang tanong lang kasi doon is paano nila ma-maintain, especially against these teams, Blacklist International, Geek Fam, na maintain talaga nila kung ano yung ginagawa nila sa mga laro, whether it's on the tactics of staying on the edge of the circle or going in for early or late engagement at doon sila bumabawi ng mga kills. If they can maintain those things, especially for those on the bottom half of the leaderboard, then probably makakabawi sila sa mga puntos.
Totoo yan, and kung nakita nyo kanina dun kay Phoenix, Bakatman siya yung MVP ng week number 1, pero ito na ngayon labanan ng Overdose at saka ng Do Easy, man, and Do Easy coming in blazing dito sa team ng Overdose. At si Akap may gustong bangkain dito at ayun na nga, may nabangga siya doon, pero yun lang, man, they will survive with the revive. And Ray, mga kaibigan ng ating kaibigang shoutcaster, man, will find Jezbu din. Uy, grabe naman yun. Alam niya kung saan banda yung isa nilang kalaban. And this is Jezbu for Do Easy. Again, men, pagkaganto na yung sitwasyon, you have to bail out agad-agad kasi meron ng chance para mag-revive. Pero ito na nga, iniikutan na siya ng mga policemen. Andito na yung mga parak. Jezbu right now, healing up. And still, man, this is going to be a really hard situation para sa kanya. Pero Pin right now will get a shot here. 98 HP. At ito na nga, tilanunan na nga, parang Robin Patilla moves lang ginagawa ni Jezbu. Ito yun na nga, napauwi niya, men. Umuwi ka muna, Pin. Tatapa ka muna dyan sa tabi ng bato. And right now, Akap naman ay susunod na nga dito for Overdose. And Ray Z, together with Akap, will try to get Jezbu. And Jezbu, men, napakakurat. Hindi mamatay-matay, men.
Ang napakalikot na bata, hindi makuha, no? Hindi mahuli nitong mga tropa natin ng Overdose. Pero ito nga po, chat right now, going in for Jezbu, going in for the pinch. Ito nga, mamataan from the other side. And with that shotgun sa mukha, Achap going in for that elimination. We are left with 10 teams as ang overdose naman nandito ay mag-stroll papunta sa revive para maibalik ang kanilang mga napabagsak na mga tropa. And speaking of tropa, ito naman AKO Ligers right now is being taken down one by our Blacklist International na nakikita natin, no? Talagang si Zapnu ang unang kumuha ng patay doon, pero si Fate naman nandito nabawian si Zapnu.
And right now, we have here Feitan for AKO Ligers. Dairen ay mukhang wala na nga dito. So, they have a chance here to go for the revive. Kaso nga lang, Blacklist International, natagpuan na nga ni Lux GZ, yung kamukha ni Balakid, man. Baka mag-flip top yan, mamaya. Pero ito na nga si Chairs, man. With a double vector magtanggol. Will try to defeat Lux GZ. And Lux GZ na nga, dadapa na nga sa harapan ni Chairs. And Chairs will take him out right away. Si Feitan ay knockdown na rin doon. It's going to be a 3v3 situation para sa Blacklist International at AKO Ligers. Chairs down to low HP. Ito na nga yung MVP ng week number 1, mga kaibigan. Na si Phoenix, makatanda kita na nga ang size 10 na paa. Napakalaki nun, sabi ni Phoenix. At mawawala na nga ang AKO men. 3 games na pangit ang laro ng AKO Ligers. Ano ang dapat nilang gawin dito, Neptune?
Hindi ko na masabi kasi sa tingin ko sa mga nakita natin mga laro ng mga tropa natin AKO Ligers, they tried to be aggressive, they tried to be passive, no? Ginaya na rin nila yung mga diskarte na ginagawa ng Geek Fam as well as Blacklist International. So probably a little bit more of passiveness, try to get those placement points, and then well, when it comes to engagement, I would suggest they try a long range first bago sila pumunta sa close range encounter kasi doon sila madalas na papabagsak ng mga kalaban nila.
And right now, you can see on the kill feed, men. Let's go. Able to actually take out man at si Flame na rin. Ay knockdown and matutuluyan na rin ng team ng Veta Esports. Ito naman, yung Veta Esports, ang ganti ng api. Last week, men, aping-api itong team na to. And let's go! Tamang-tama ang kanyang tutok doon. Reds will get Reds off the game here, and Icon na lang natitira for team, or for Mio na lang ang natitira for Team Icon rather, and down to 52 HP, men, at talagang nakatutok na sila McRory. Men, kailangan magising, men, ni McRory. Actually, napapansin ko, no, from week 1 and then kahapon, si McRory medyo tahimik.
Well, bukod sa tahimik, siya yung laging madalas, no, na napapabagsak sa early engagement. Hindi ko alam kung siguro nababaguhan din sila sa revive system because at some point, dahil nga diskarte nila dito is more of passive-aggressive. So, the revive system defeats the purpose. Katulad ng ginawa nila, they were able to let one go and later on, makakalaban ulit nila dito matapos ma-revive yung ibang mga teammates. So, doon sila nahihirapan kasi mamaya marami pa rin silang kalaban despite of all those members na napabagsak. But speaking of napabagsak, no, itong mga tropa natin ng Tactical Index is going against Axis and unti-unti na nga silang bumabagsak.
Pero right now, Too Fast GG, mukhang dinaanan sila dito ng ITX and sabi mo nga, unti-unti silang mapapabagsak ng Axis. Good day, manager. Maganda yung naging simula ng Axis, no? So definitely marami silang confidence in order for them to get this booyah for this game. Ang problema nga lang nila, men, is ewan ko kung bakit sila nagtatampisaw dito sa sa blue zone. You have to focus on the objectives, pero yun nga, meron sila sasakyan para mapabilis yung pagpasok nila sa loob ng bilog. And Blacklist International also trying to get the higher grounds right now. Zapnu ang mauuna na nga dito and is probably the scout ng Blacklist International. Merong team na nasa ibaba nila which is yung Veta Esports, and maganda rin yung location nila dito. So, there's a lot of blind spots nga rin dito, Neptune, kasi maraming mga puno na nakapaligid sa area ng Blacklist International. At yun na nga, men, yung Geek Fam ay tinatamaan na nga nila. Uy, may camera wave dun, kulay pula. Naku po, munti ka pa matamaan yung mga player dun kahit di natin nakita, pero again, blue wall lang ang nasaktan.
Blue wall lang nasaktan at ito nga po ng mga tropa natin ng Geek Fam mukhang nabawasan ang kanilang momentum. Unti-unti na silang humihina pagdating sa kills, no? Isa pa lang yung kill nila dito sa gantong punto ng ating laban at Blacklist International naman dito ay tamang tambay-tambay lang sa loob. Mukhang makakasalubong ata mga tropa natin ng overdose, and let's see kung paano ang magiging diskarte nila dito as Phoenix mukhang unti-unti na rin nababawasan at hopefully makapag-heal dito at Kamehame Wave na nakita from below and Ego Oblivions. JC Jacobs will be spotted by Cobra, and on the other side, no, si Cobra naman ay tamang silip lang pero walang makikita.
Right now, Zapnu mukhang hinahabol pa niya dito si Finn ng overdose and overdose. Actually, goods yung ginagawa nila. Gumagamit sila ng sasakyan para at least di sila matamaan agad-agad ng mga players ng enemies nila dito sa laban na to. Pero right now, still on the overhead view here, WTG buhay pa rin, no? Isa sa mga teams na nagsistruggle, men, pero lumalaban dito sa larong ito. Actually, di pala Vete Esports yung nasa ilalim, Ego Oblivions pala yung nasa ilalim dito ng Blacklist International. And you can see right now, sila Stepdad ay nagpark na nga ng kotse sa loob ng bahay, no? Sana all pwede i-park ang sasakyan sa loob ng bahay. Paano yun, no? I-park mo sa sopa, di ba? Yung mga ganun.
Parking mo sa sala, parking mo sa kwarto. Pero ito na nga po, no? Kidding aside, we have a Geek Fam right now going for the battle against Axis Esports. So, dalawang agresibong upunan na maglalaban na nga dito. 6 kills sa mga tropa natin ng Axis. And there goes a hit against Oren. Oren right now is being chased by Neptune. And Mano4 on the other side, nagtatago lang muna dito sa likod ng puno. Habang si Exact naman ay ganun din ang ginagawa. So, it's more of positioning as well as the glue wall maze that they have placed in here, putting Axis in a special position to be able to take them down and take down. It is for the side of Geek Fam. Si Neptune na nga ang napabagsak.
And right now, ang ganda ng view natin dito, Geek Fam versus Axis. Good day, manager. We've seen this before. Yung Axis yung natalo dito, pero right now, we have Axis 1 gets taken down. Cops right now versus Mano4 ang naglalaban dito sa ilalim. Vegeta na knockdown na nga. At yun na nga, men, kahit mag-Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3 pa si Vegeta, hindi nila kaya ang Geek Fam.
Oh my goodness, buhay lahat doon sa laban na yun in Axis Esports. No? I mean, sabi ko nga kanina, maganda yung ginawa ng mga tropa natin ng Geek Fam. They were placing all those glue wall maze para lang ma-filter, ma-funnel out ang mga tropa natin ng Axis. And then, despite of the aggressiveness that they have, dahil alam nila kung saan posibleng lalabas sisilip ang mga tropa ng Axis, Geek Fam was able to take them down one at a time.
Right, and you can see right now here, overhead rather, view na meron tayo ngayon. Ang daming umiiwas sa labanan dito, pero ito, Blacklist International, mukhang nakita na nga ang kalaban nila dito. This is Vete Esports, if I'm not mistaken, na ngayon ay pinipressure sila, and Phoenix Makatmen, ang ganda ng ginawa niyang bailout dito. Pinatuan niya ng granada, and at the same time, ginawan din niya ng glue wall, dalawang glue wall or tatlong ginamit niya dito. Pero yun na, Vete Esports, knockdown na nga ang dalawa dito. And right now, Zapnu going for the kill. Zapnu, walang takot na pumasok dito. And Orbits will say goodbye to his teammates kasi nga, dumapa na nga yung tatlo niyang kasama. And ito yung problema ng Vete Esports, and I'm not so sure why na nagiging ganito yung gameplay nila. And normally, Neptune, kapag ka ganito, no, makikita mo na una sila Let's Go at Macrory, at madaling nilang napapatay yung mga kalaban nila. And there you go, Icon, may eliminate na nga dito courtesy of Geek Fam again.
Oh, ibang klase talaga si Figri, no? From long range shot talaga. Basta meron siya makita from afar, talagang pipitasin niya at pipitasin. At ito nga, speaking of nakita na nga mga tropa natin ng Tactical Index, and Oren right now is in a watchtower on the other side, no? Napapagsak na si Kionsla as well as No Name from WTG by the safe zone. And we'll have to find out kung paano pa ang magiging diskarte ng ibang mga teams na nandito. Blacklist International is heading in onto the safe zone at mukhang makakalaban nila dito ang mga tropa na Ego Oblivion. So all sides will be covered by different teams, at kung sino maiiwan sa labas ay sila nagdedelikado dahil sila ang magi-gatekeep. And this is onto the name of Overdose as they are going in from above. And then Ego Oblivion sa nandito sa gilid, mukhang sila din ata ang magiging next target.
At yun na nga, Vete Esports, natagpuan na nga ng Blacklist na si Zapnu, itong si Forbids, and they will say goodbye sa larong ito. And ITX, man, yung nasa huling parte ng ating overall standings, still alive. And right now, I think Mano4 knows na meron tao doon. And there you go, ito na nga yung chance nila para i-eliminate ang Tactical Index. At napakadali nilang in-eliminate yung team na yun. And Overdose right now, nakabuhay ito spin. Uy, dumitrift pa yung kanyang kotse. Pero hindi ito Tokyo Drift, mga kaibigan. This is Free Fire, baby. And right now, Mano4 will try to go for that flank. Pero yun nga lang, men, ang dami yung ginagawa dito with
Oh my goodness!
Eliminate. Grabe naman yun, men. And Blacklist International also going for that third party. And yun na nga, men. Geek Fam, nagtitira na lang ay isa. Si Oren na lang. And Geek Fam will get eliminated courtesy of Overdose Esports and Blacklist International. Ang gandang third party nun, men.
Ang ganda ng ganun pinakita no, with that grenade launcher, tatlong miyembro ng mga tropa natin ng Geek Fam ano pabagsakan. Now it's now left to Crazy GG, Atchap, and as well as another member. Pero ang Blacklist International hindi pa rin papatalo. Despite of only 2 kills, they have a chance to take the booyah right here. At mukhang alam na alam nila ang pwestuhan ng mga kalaban. We have Overdose on the right as well as Ego Oblivions on the left. And ito pa nga, nakapapalibutin sila ng ilang miyembro ng mga kalaban. And then Overdose, Dad, as well Atchap, and Razy taking this bottom of this bridge. Magandang cover to para sa kanila. But the question is, how will they be able to get to the next safe zone?
Yun yung tanong dyan, no? And right now, ang mahirap dito actually pala, no, is actually Blacklist International kasi masasandwich sila ng dalawang teams. One Malaysian team on the left side and one PH team dito sa right side natin. And you can see Ego Oblivions really playing it safe. Hindi sila talaga nakikipag-engage until the very end. And Phoenix, together with Cobra and Lux GC, still alive here. Laban sa apat ng, or actually tatlo if I'm not mistaken, from Overdose at apat ng Ego Oblivions. And now, ito na, Razy trying to go for the shot now. Pero yun, napansin na rin niya yung mga players ng Ego. Napapasok na nga. And this is Blacklist International mo. Nagtutulungan pa nga itong Blacklist and together with Overdose, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Dapa ka na daw dyan, sabi ng Blacklist. And my son will get taken down also. Buti na lang nandoon yung isa na lang player na buhay pa si Jace Jacob will try to go for that revive. May son na lang ang knockdown dito. Kailangan na lang mag-regroup. And at the same time, man, yung Blacklist International mapo-force na pumasok dito kasi yung blue zone ay papunta na nga sa kanila. And right now, Phoenix is now down for the count here with low, very low HP. There you go! A nade there coming from Phoenix. Napakaganda nun! Neptune!
Napakagandang bawi, pero ito na nga, ang mga tropa natin ng Blacklist International will be taken down. And here comes a new name for our Booyah. Ito na ang isa sa mga iniintay ng mga teams natin. Ego Oblivions right now taking their second Booyah of this tournament. And ibang turnaround na ginawa nila. They were so patient. They were so passive at this point until the final moment. Tapos nung nakita sila, lahat sa kanila nakatutok. Mabuti na nakasurvive sila sa laban na yun.
2 joints tayo dyan, mga pre. Sabi ng isang player ng Ego. At nagpakita pa ng bebe yung isa. Sana all, no? Sana pakita rin natin mga bebe natin sa, sa live. No? Together with Beef Mommy kung meron siyang bebe. Pero yun na nga, going back here sa ating highlights. It is a really early fight here sa Ski Lodge. This is between Umbrella Reborn and Axis Esports. Akala ko, men, yung momentum ng Axis going into this game and then after nila ma-eliminate yung Umbrella will lead on into a booyah. Pero men, that is because of Blacklist International and Geek Fam. Pinahirapan nila yung lahat ng ibang team. Unfortunately, men, para dun sa Blacklist International sa huli, hindi talaga pumabor sa kanila, especially yung numbers advantage. Dalawa na lang natira for Blacklist International. So yung Ego talagang kinuha na lang nila talaga yung victory. Pero ito, men, ang tanong talaga is sa AKO Ligers ano ba talaga ang dapat nilang gawin para at least gumanda naman yung kanilang laro?
Medyo mahirap mahirap talagang sagutin diyan kasi katulad nga dito sa laban na to, ang mga nakakaharap nila is Blacklist International, we have a Geek Fam, Do Easy, hindi natin masyado napansin, but I know yung mga tropa na nandito na who's trying and getting themselves up on the leaderboards. Galit na galit din eh. And AKO Ligers, I know they have the potential, pero it's more of the positioning na nawawala sa kanila. Usually, sa mga previous tournaments na nakita natin sila, maganda yung positioning, they take the long engagement, and then on the close fight, more likely 4 against 3, 4 against 2 ang nangyayari. Pero at this point, una-una sila nadidikitan and then nauubos, they eliminate from this match. But let's welcome back Beef Mommy dito sa spaceship niya. And Beef, go ahead.
speaking of yung mga bebe reveals natin, you asked me, diba, Kuku, may bebe ako. But papakita ko yung bebe ko dito ngayon. It's my bebe dog right now. Hindi pala kita. Basta, hindi kita. Ayun o, bebe
Ayan,
dog
kita.
ko. Ayan,
Kita.
kita na.
Yeah.
So anyway, yun nga, yung buff natin ngayon, either it be a girlfriend, boyfriend, or anyone in between. Ako, aso ko. Alam ko si Kuku, may lala siya, pati Lulu eh. So, ikaw ba, Neptune? May buff ka ba? Alam ko, medyo may wifey ka eh.
Oh, my wifey. Oh, we also have a lady who is a small dog. Pero nilalayo ko dahil nga maingay siya. Hindi, unlike you guys who has like behave yung mga alaga nyo. Sa amin dito, medyo maingay. So doon siya muna sa malayo. Doon siya sa outside sa safe zone.
Gusto rin daw niya mag-shoutcast. But yes, anyway, going back into the points that we have for today. Ito na nga ang post-match breakdown natin, Blacklist International. Even though hindi na nakuha ang buya, 22 points pa rin kasi sobrang daming kills. 13 kills already for their name. And it's not gonna be looking good right now for Geek Fam because, yes, 16 points, madami pa rin yan. But let's put the spotlight into Ego Oblivions with the patient play, the passive play, even up to the very end. Well, that's when they went in for the attack. 17 total points for them and 5 total kills. So, na-mention natin kanina, di ba? Yung Ego Oblivions, sobrang passive talaga nila up to the very end and it really just paid off for them. So, obviously, that's gonna be really crucial point. But let's take a look at the list going down over those esports having that 13. A really good fight because they did go up against Blacklist International. Unfortunately, natalo sila dun sa gunfight na yun. Axis Esports number 5 with 8 points. Vete Esports going into the number 6 spot with 8 points. And then obviously to the right side, Icon Tactical Intex, WTG Experts, AKO Likers Do Easy, and Umbrella Reborn from that 7th to 12th spot. But you know what? Let's talk about it. The spotlight is on you. Ito na ang ating MVPs for today's matchup for match number 3. It's so beautiful. It's basically 2 members from Blacklist International, Phoenix and Zipnu. And also for Geek Fam, obviously Exac, it's not his first time dito sa MVP. This guy absolutely shreds it. And for our Booyah team that we have here, Ego Oblivions having that Maisan 4 kills. Pero out of everyone here, actually parang ang even nung medyo even yung kills nila at the moment. But obviously post-match data is always going to be very exciting for us to see. And now, we do have the next games that we have here so far. And I know that you guys are excited because nandito na tayo sa halfway point. Match number 1, 2, and 3 done. We're finally closing that chapter. And that's a really good restart and a really good break for all of these teams because we are going to be welcoming match number 4, obviously starting it in Bermuda as well. I mean, obviously after that, match number 5 is going to be in Purgatory and we are going to end things in Bermuda as well. So, guys, huwag kayong umalis kasi simula pa lang to. First half is gonna be done and the second half as well, that is going to be a much more exciting gameplay because we can already see teams heating up. Geek Fam has a little bit of a presence here up against a little team called Blacklist International. It's kind of like seeing season 1 and season 2 champions just battle it out. And now Neptune, with that into consideration, and even though Blacklist International, didn't really get the buoy, they got the most points here.
Yeah, I mean, they got the most points and the leaderboard is just changing between the two of them, no? Pero ito, malalaman natin, meron ba talagang kukontra sa kanila? Kailangan natin makakita ng ibang mga miyembro na kumontra doon sa dalawang top 2 teams na nandito, whether it's Blacklist or Geek Fam or even Tumutok.
Actually, speaking of Kuku, really quick, who do you think is going to be that gatekeeper for both of these teams?
For both of these teams, pwede nating sabihin, sa group BNC, diba? Tama? Sa group BNC, it might be Umbrella Reborn. Na-eliminate sila early kanina eh. Pero yun nga, malaki yung potential ng Umbrella Reborn. We also have Do Easy, which actually is very, very hot from yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. Will Do Easy and Umbrella Reborn be able to take down these giants? You know what? Just take a little bit of a break. Take a sip back. Take a sip of water because my casters are definitely gonna need it. We'll see you dun sa Bermuda later on after a quick short break.
Can they address the force? Some of the most dangerous 방탄소년단이 콜라보레이션을 진행하게 되었습니다.
네, 방탄소년단 스타일의 이모치가 궁금하시다면요. 네.
우리가 디자인한 코스튬을 입고 싶으신가요?
그러면 프리파이어에 접속하세요.
많은 깜짝 선물이 기다리고 있으니
프리파이어와 방탄소년단의 콜라보레이션 기대해주세요. 네, 많은 관심과 사랑 부탁드립니다.
프리파이어!
Assalamualaikum. We are BTS. 프리파이어와 방탄소년단이 콜라보레이션을 진행하게 되었습니다.
네, 방탄소년단 스타일의 이모치가 궁금하시다면요.
Believe
Can they address upon some of the most dangerous players? Eva Radicals, yes, from the back, but it won't be. Set a gameplay from the side. Oh my lord!
Tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang bakbakan. Week 2, day number 2 of the Free Fire MCP Major Season number 3. And kakatapos lang ang 3 rounds of really hot action here for today and day number 2. And obviously, the next half is definitely going to be as good as well. I am your host, Beef Mommy, and with me today ang napaka-loading casters natin, Neptune the Gentleman Gaming and Kuku TV. And so far, so good for a lot of these teams. Pero nga, may mga ibang teams na medyo nahihirapan in this competition so far. I think I want to start this off with, I'm pretty sure it was Vete Esports. Nakita natin dun sa may break screen, diba? Yung listahan, kung ano yung tier list that we had here for today. They got bumped down. So, 14th spot for Vete Esports, and that's gonna be a really good storyline for them to try and pick up the points here in day number 2 and eventually going into day number 3. Neptune, ano sa tingin mo kaya ang kailangan gawin ng Vete Esports para lang para makabuelo ng konti going into that top 12?
So far, I think they've already tried the passive approach and probably a little bit more of passiveness. Kailangan medyo malayo pa sila, especially for the teams, the aggressive teams. Access, we have Blacklist, we have Gig Fam. So for those teams, well, unfortunately, hindi mo malalaman kung sino maaarap mo. Pero ito na nga, kailangan maiwasan nila doon and survive later on.
And absolutely, and obviously you need to have that confidence. So speaking of confidence, you need to have this code right now. Take a screenshot, kunin nyo na kasi mawawala yan. And if ever you do miss out, ask your friends who are also watching this stream, uy, nakuha mo ba pre yung code kanina? But obviously, if you want to get that, just take a screenshot of this code. Or kung si Kuku ka or si Neptune, they can just memorize it. But for me, I need to go and screenshot it. The Skull Hunter AK box. It's beautiful. It's lovely. If you are gonna be going into the battlefield with this skin, you are gonna have so much more confidence in your gameplay. So obviously, don't forget to screenshot this. Tag your friends if you really, really want to have this skin. Share the stream, like the stream. Not only watch it on Facebook, but also watch it on YouTube as well. So yeah, with that out of the way, we finally get to have one more code every single day, guys. As in, sobrang dami nating giveaways for every single day of MCP Major Season 3. So yeah, with that one just dusted, we're moving on into round number 4. Now, this is a group that have been so interesting because akala natin, Kuku, Geek Fam will have a harder time, which is true because Blacklist International is definitely here to go and slay. But aside from them, I think I remember asking you said Umbrella Reborn and Do Easy will give them a really hard time. What do you think will these teams do in order to gatekeep these two massive teams?
Well, for Umbrella Reborn, kanina kasi nung match number 3, nauna lang talaga sila ng drop. So, hindi sila nakapag-ready nung time na yun. So, most definitely, kapag ka nandun na sila sa point na ready sila, together with Do Easy, they can actually stop whatever Blacklist International is actually doing. And at the same time, Blacklist International, they have to really be focused in order for them na hindi sila na mapitas ng ibang mga teams. Pero I think it's still medyo mababa yung chance pa rin kasi napakagaling talaga ng Blacklist.
Absolutely. And now, will these two top dogs get overthrown by all of these teams right now trying to vie for that number 1 spot? Simulan na natin ang laban, casters. Take it away.
Alrighty. We are now going into Bermuda. Parating na sa Bermuda. And there we go. Ang mga tropa natin dito I'm pretty sure ready na sila dito. We've seen another match earlier on for Bermuda, but this is the first Group B and C maglalaban dito. Now, peak is mostly a vital position para dito sa mga teams na to. Sino kaya ang bababa dito at meron kaya magkakasabayan, parang ko?
Well, tingnan natin kung magkakasabayan nila yung dalawang team kanina. We have yung Axis together with the Umbrella Reborn. Axis, palagi nilang sinasabayan yung yung Vete Esports dito sa may bandang shipyard. Looks like it's gonna be the situation right now kasi tingnan mo yung landing nila parang pareho ata. Pero at the same time, here, bottom part ng mapa natin, men, WTG and Ego. This is going to be a really interesting battle, men, kasi WTG and Ego are not really that much into engagements.
Yeah, definitely. No, malalaman natin kung sino ba talaga yung magpapakita ng aggressiveness dito. But I think there's still a push, a motivational push for the side of Ego Oblivions dahil nakakuha nga sila ng isang buya. Pero WTG, I think they need to also show that aggression para naman makontra yung nararamdaman at na ipapakita ng mga tropa ng Ego Oblivions. Now, going back to the map, apart from them, Tactical Intex and Axis dito sa bandang north, no, sa bandang gitna actually, ay posible din sila magkalaban, and Geek Fam was able to go in and take the clock tower and then blacklist onto the peak. So those are the position of some of the teams, and here we go, Neptune right now. At yan na nga, pinatay na nga ang isa sa mga tropa natin ng Tactical Intex.
At ang galing, no, nagsasalita si Neptune at bumabaril at naglalaro din dito. Sobrang galing talaga ng Neptune natin dito. Pero right now, Axis, mukhang pinapatay ng ITX. It's gonna be an easy win for them. Para sa akin, kasi nga ITX not really showing up that much here in the league stages. And you can see there, napakabilis ang recovery ng Axis. At ayun na nga, men, inimotan pa nga. Nilagyan ng bandera pa sa harapan. And right now, we have ITX getting eliminated there. Yung tatlo nilang kasama, Rewana ay buhay na buhay pa rin sa malayo together with Siad. And men, ITX, men, buhay na buhay pa dito, pero hindi talaga hindi talaga sila bagay sa early engagement. Pwede sila siguro by the end game, maybe they can get or snatch one buya, no? Pero right now, malabo na makakapag-engage sila with the top teams.
Yeah, we'll have to find out if they'll be able to engage. Pero ito na nga po, mukhang si Niel jumping in front of against Axis. No, si Axis ata dito makakapita sa mga tropa natin, Umbrella Reborn. No, sala naman ng timing talaga. No, ang ganda na ng lipad ni Niel doon. Pero ito na nga mga tropa natin, Axis going in for that hit. Neptune right now going against iPads in there. And the dance is on. Pero iiwas muna dito. Mga tropa na Axis, si Cobbs ang mapapabagsak. And iPads will be getting that damage as well. Kaz right now jumping in ahead. Pero mukhang bagsak din. And there goes Niel for that takedown. Neptune and Tupas GG are the only two members remaining for the side of Axis. Pero sa side naman, sa side naman ng Umbrella Reborn, bagsak na rin si Kaz. And I'm just surprised si Kaz. Lagi siyang napupunta sa sitwasyon kung saan laging siyang napapabagsak.
Ito yun na nga, Tupas GG ay mananakdown na nga. Ito yung ito yung ganti ng api kanina nung match sa Purgatory. And this is actually Axis able to defeat Umbrella Reborn. And now, makakabawi sila ng onti dito. Umbrella Error and iPans actually not together. Ang layo nung spots nila dito. Yeah. And I think the reason why na malayo, kasi kaka-revive lang nilang dalawa. And that's the reason why na ganun talaga yung distance ng ibang mga players ng Umbrella Reborn. Pero at least nakabawi sila, nakakuha sila ng isang kill out of that engagement. So that's gonna be goods for them. Pero still, di pa rin yun yung revenge na hinahanap nila. Mas maganda siguro kung yung Umbrella Reborn ay ma-eliminate yung mga good day manager natin na galing sa Axis.
Yeah, I mean, ito na nga mga tropa natin ng Axis. Mukhang susugurin yung last few remaining members ng Tactical Intex. But Umbrella Reborn, a good tactic indeed. Isa lang natitira sa last, si Error, which is lagi na lang natitira sa kanilang team. And then, na-revive pa yung tatlong miyembro. So they will be able to regroup and also get back against Axis for what happened earlier. Now, we'll have to find out. Veda Esports, unti-unti na rin silang pumapasok sa safe zone, and they are taking their time. They are taking the edge, and this is one of the things that they can use against other teams. Kailangan lang talaga medyo maganda rin yung spotter para if you have a good spot that you can look into and then check it out bago kayo pumasok sa safe zone, then you'll have a good position later on.
At yun yung ginagawa ni Zapnu ng Blacklist International. Siya yung scouter scout ng team for Blacklist International. Tingnan mo yung ginagawa nila dito. Zapnu nangunguna lagi. Si Phoenix nasa likod lang niya. If ever man may bumaril sa kanila, talagang makocover niya agad itong kakampi niya. And Icon actually has this watchtower na meron tayo ngayon. This is a really good position. Remember from yesterday, Yung H2G ang kumuha nito. Naalala ko yun, sinabi ni Beef Mami yun. Pero right now, Icon has the advantage here. Icon has been struggling, man. Kasi nung day 1 ng week number 1, ang taas ng puntos nila. Pero feeling ko, nang dahil sa ibang teams na nilabas na nila yung lakas talaga nila, they were able to actually not go up against these top teams. Pero yun nga, they are now playing it passive here, waiting for someone na lumapit sa kanila. And we have here, wait lang, si Toby Cuties. Naku, magugulat siya dito. Merong ego na nandyan, nakatago sa kubo na yan. At ito na nga, pinapasok ka niya sa bahay. Welcome to the family, sabi nga ni MJC or MJ rather. And right now, Toby Cuties was able to actually get the kill. And ito yung problema ng ito yung problema ng ego. They're not really good with close encounter battles.
Yeah, I'm seeing that a lot, no? Dito sa mga teams na nandito. Marami that they're doing well on previous tournaments. Pero sa ngayon, is it the presence of probably Geek Fam kaya medyo umiiwas sila sa close engagement battle or kaya natatalo sila? Pero ito na nga mukhang tatalon at yun na nga, one of the Icons made that mistake of jumping out and being knocked down because of that fall. Pero ito na nga, Toby Cuties, mukhang alam na nila ang position ng mga tropa natin ng Icons and they are going in for that rush, for that push onto the tower and skipping some of the sides. Pero ito, Rids will be in there on the other watchtower, yung mas mababa, and they are going to take fight against this team. And one right now was able to take down Toby Cutie at pinasok pa ng isa pero napapagsak na nga si Juan. And here comes the pickup. 4-man strong pa rin ng AKO Ligers and it is looking good for this team.
Looking good nga para sa team ng AKO Ligers. And again, this is the AKO Ligers na dapat natin makita. They need to be more aggressive. Kasi nung FFCP talagang aggressive yung gameplay ng AKO Ligers. Until then, na nakakalaban nila yung mga teams like Vete Esports and we have Eva Radicals, so nandun pa sila. Pero right now, we have Icon right now, Rids. Ang hirap na ito, no? Yung position nyo dito, nasa isang maliit na watchtower siya, pero may katabing malaking watchtower naman ang team ng AKO. So, talaga, dun ka sa mas malaki. Diba?
Oo, mas malaki dapat. Andiyan na nga, Mono Fate and was able to take down Flame and extinguish na nga yung flame ng mga tropa natin ng Icon. Nag-iisan lang nga dito pero nakarinig sila ng putukan from the overdose and they are being shot down but the pickup is going on and Blue Wall will be taken out as Toby QZ. Mapapabagsak dito and napakaganda ng pwestuhan dito ng mga tropa natin overdose. They got the low position pero they have a good advantage of surprise.
Right, and Overdose Esports, napakaganda ng posisyon nila dito. They're just waiting for the next circle na mag-pop off. And yun yung ginagawa ng AKO Ligers. And siguro this is the time for them to really rethink kung ano yung dapat nilang gawin. Pero right now, Blacklist International lumalapit na nga dito sa Overdose. One is actually knocked down para sa Overdose. Ito na si Zapno, men. Ito yung player na walang takot talaga, Neptune. Hindi ako natatakot sa inyo. Ito na ako, Zapno now trying to destroy that blue wall. Kaso nga lang, men. Mananockdown siya agad-agad now. Stepdad here. O, mai-stack na siya dito. Pero yun na nga, nisprayan or nilagyan ng ray gun. Itong si Zapno and now Phoenix Bakat. Oo nga, nag-isip siya kung paano niya papasukan to. And there you go, nakita na nga ni Phoenix Bakat si Stepdad na sabugan ng granada and akap, men. Umakap ka na sa glue wall mo kasi nandito na sila. And now Cobra with a double vector magtanggol. There you go, finishing off Overdose Esports.
A good double team, no? Coming from Blacklist International. Alam na lang yung sitwasyon nila. They just need to go for that push. No resting, not giving them a chance para maapag-heal. Pero ito na nga, mga tropa natin ng Geek Fam is going in for that rush against WTG. At kanina pa itong bakbakan na nagaganap. So mukhang isa na lang natitira sa mga tropa natin ng WTG. Ang tanong, makakasurvive kaya dito si Zine JG or mapitas na. Especially na dito na nga si Exact. Si Exact naman, sobrang agresibo. Pero ganda ng tago niya, hindi siya agad na mataan, no? He was very, very quiet.
Ninja moves ang ginagawa niya dito ni Design GG. Pero on the kill feed, men, we have EC and ITX. And again, ITX, talagang malabo na talaga. Parang pixelated na pinapanood natin. Pero yun na nga, mga kaibigan, Geek Fam still on top of this mountain. Pero dito sa area na to, men, a lot of compounds, definitely, marami talagang tao dito. We have Veta Esports still alive. But again, the circle has updated, men. And grabe to, no? On the northern side, men, ang daming teams. This will give Geek Fam a really good advantage para pagpasok ng bilog. Sila na yung mangi-gatekeep, no?
Yeah, definitely, no? Maganda yung magiging position. Ito yung naman nagiging pwestuhan ng mga tropa natin ng Geek Fam. But speaking of pwestuhan, ito nga ang Ego Oblivions. They're going against Do Easy. And the aggressiveness of Do Easy, medyo nawala, no? Medyo nabawasan yung aggressiveness nila. At unti-unti silang napapalaban at napapabagsak dito. And speaking of which, ito na nga si Jembal, napabagsak. And JC Jacobs right now going in for the grenade gameplay. Pero MJ right here on the other side going in for 2 but distraction tactic lang pala si Twinkle na makakapitas. And there you go, 4-man strong mga tropa natin ng Ego Oblivions. And here comes a push, JC Jacobs for that takedown. And si Jesmo na lang natitira. Jesmo trying to go in for the catch. And there goes the backstab. Habang natin naman sa malayo si Twinkle going in for those hits. Maisa na rin nandito, tamang pitas-pitas lang. They have the opportunity to gatekeep and Twinkle will be going in for this rush. Makakapitas kaya siya dito. Will this be a good hit? And there goes Too Easy. Twinkle eliminating this team.
Ang galing naman no, ng Ego. Sobrang pinapakitaan nila tayo. Nagsalita kasi tayo, Neptune, na hindi sila sanay sa mga engagement. Anong hindi kami sanay, Kuku? Hindi. Tatalunin namin yung nakakarap namin dito. And right now, Phoenix with a shot. Napakaganda talaga ng tutok neto ni Phoenix. Pero ito na nga, ITX will get eliminated by Cobra. And men, Ego, wala na yung yung dalawa nilang player. Pero ito na, men, meron pang isang laban dito. We have Bete versus Blacklist International versus AKO Ligers. And Bete East was able to actually get some eliminations together with Blacklist International. Ang problema ng Blacklist ngayon, men, nag-gatekeep sila. Papasok ng circle.
Oo, nag-gatekeep sila papasok ng circle pero mukhang mahirap din sitwasyon ng mga tropa natin ng BT Esports. Mapipinch sila dito ng Geek Fam as well as Blacklist International. At na nga po ang ganti ng api. There goes the takedown. Phoenix was able to take down Damon as well, no? BT Esports, nagdedelikado. Pinupush na nga ng mga tropa natin ng Blacklist International and behind them ang mga tropa natin ng Geek Fam. Ito, alam ko na abawi na mga tropa natin ng BT Esports but this is very difficult for them. But there goes AKO Ligers being eliminated as well. On the other side, Double PG is also taken down. McCrory is knocked down, but Blacklist unti-unti na rin napipitas.
And right now, Geek, talagang tamang pitas lang itong Geek Fam, no? Nandito lang sa Gedli. Bahala kayo dyan magbarilan. And right now, Blacklist International still has the enemy or the players alive here. Pero yun nga lang, men. That is gonna be it for Blacklist International. And Geek Fam will get eliminated also at the same time. Yung Vete Esports. At sino na lang ba ang natitirang kalaban ng Geek Fam? Asan na yung kalaban nila? Parang sila na lang ata. Hindi, yun. Buhay pa, men.
Ego.
Ang Ego Oblivions. Kaso nga lang, men, yung circle ay parang papunta sa tubig. Yun, no?
At ito na nga, tubig nga! Tubig nga! At kung sino lang nasa taas, no, sila may tsansa na makauha ng pwesto, ng aapakan. Pero ito, mga tropa natin, exact take in the bottom. So magandang strategy to ng mga tropa natin ng Geek Fam. But Ego Oblivions, I know they have a good strategy as well, especially with Twinkle right now. Pero si Maisan going in for the side. And there goes Maisan. Talagang hindi pinagbigyan si Exact. Eksakto. Yung tama kay Exact doon. Si Maisan na lang titira dito. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a 2v3 situation. Pero nasa taas ang mga kalaban. Mahihirapan silang hanapin ang Ego Oblivions.
At anong ginagawa ni Twinkle dito? Parang nasa Gedli siya ng bridge. Pwede pala yun, Neptune. Pwede ka palang may Spider-Man sa Gedli. And right now, Geek Fam trying their very best para makita yung mga players. And there you go. What? We're gonna have a water circle, man, here in this game. At again, magtatampisaw ang ating mga players. Again, summer na dito sa Pilipinas. Geek Fam, isama nyo na sila. And right now, Oren still doesn't have any idea kung nasan yung mga players ng Ego. Mafo-force yung, feeling ko pwede nilang gawin dito, no? Mafo-force yung isa na player na mag-bait. Tapos yung dalawa ay babala. There you go! Twinkle, gulat ka! Huli ka, Balbon! Kaso nga lang si Twinkle ay tinatama na nga dito at ang ganda ng cover niya. Hindi siya kita dito ni Fikri.
2,000 IQ. Pinakita ng mga tropa natin ng Ego Oblivions dito. Tamang abang lang muna at sakto doon sa edge ng circle. Pero ito na nga, unti-unti nang lalapit and maganda rin yung pwesto ni Fikri dahil medyo may leeway pa siya para mai-push si Twinkle palabas ng zone. Pero si Maisa na nga nandito, mukhang nababaril na nga from above. Man 04 was able to go for that hit. Ego Oblivions taken down and the booyah goes to this team that we usually see, no? Alam mo, madalas natin nakikita, Geek Fam, galit na galit. Talagang despite of that situation, hindi sila nagpapatalo. Hindi sila na overcome ng ganong IQ gameplay. But still, props to Ego Oblivion. They were able to get that good position as well as another more point from Geek Fam.
Totoo yun. And this is their second booyah sa araw na to. So, Geek Fam right now is really spicy. Sobrang hot nila, men. And you can see from their gameplay, especially si Fikri, talagang maganda ang pinapakita nila. Siguro sinabihan siya ng jowa niya na let's go baby, mga ganun. No? Galingan mo baby, ito yung picture ko, mga ganun.
Nice baby, mga ganun. Nice baby. Ayan. Pero ito
Nice
nga,
one,
no?
baby.
Nice one, baby. Ayan. Pero yun nga, nakita natin yung nag-iba yung mga movement ng mga teams. Like for example, AKO Ligers, we've seen a few improvements from their side. They are surviving their close engagement. Tapos yun nga, nabanggit natin kanina yung Ego Oblivions, how aggressive they went in here, and then also yung tactical na meron nag-aabang sa likod. Now, Beta Esports right now, before sila na-eliminate, if I'm not mistaken, they were able to get 10 kills from this game. So unfortunately, na pinch lang sila dito ng Blacklist as well as Geek Fam. And then on the side naman ng Geek Fam, napakaganda ng pwestuhan nila dito. Talagang nag-abang lang sila ng tempo para mapabagsak din yung Blacklist International.
Totoo yan. And actually, di ko alam kung ano nangyari kay Maisan sa ilalim. Nalunod ba siya? Neptune. Gusto ko lang i-double check eh. Feeling ko nalunod siya. Hindi, binaril siya. Binaril siya ni Man 04. And Man 04 was the one in charge kung bakit sila namatay. And there you go. Again, babalik na tayo dito sa napakalaking spaceship ni Beef Mommy. And Beef Mommy, take it away.
Ayun nga, ang daming ang spaces sa spaceship ni Beef Mommy. Honestly, if you guys want, mga viewers, pasok lang kayo, pasok lang. Parang Noah's Ark lang to di ba? But anyway, grabe. Ang ganda ng last circle. I always pray every time nakakast ako, sana water circle to. Kasi you get to see yung different creative strategy ng mga teams. Nakita ka na, obviously, it's going to be Geek Fam win. But also, Beta Esports getting a lot of kills. Basically looking like the old team that they are. Pero nga lang, Ego Oblivions with the 9,000 IQ gameplay being in the very side of the bridge. Sobrang ganda talaga yung nakatago siya doon. But unfortunately for them, they just got stuck. But for Geek Fam, they did so well when it comes to the engagements. Feeling ko they kind of learned with the past game against Ego Oblivions na medyo passive sila, di ba? Sa huli lang sila umariba. Eh ngayon for Geek Fam, especially going up against Blacklist International and Beta Esports, alam na okay, sige, chill muna lang tayo, let's play for picks, and that's what happened there. Geek Fam getting a lot of those kills already, not only that, with also the booyah. So if you're thinking about the kills already, the points are definitely going to be crazy. And Neptune, Geek Fam adopting the Ego Oblivion strategy from that last game, this shows like they're a different team at the moment, no?
Yeah, definitely, no? Maganda yung pinapakita ng mga tropa natin, Geek Fam. They are able to read the situation, and then yung Man 04, pwestuhan ni Man 04, taking it outside and then going against Maisan really gave them the advantage. But here we have it. We have the standings for the previous match.
Yeah, and there you go. Geek Fam Booyah, 22 points, 10 total kill points. But then I'm proud to say, Beta Esports having that 19. It's finally good to see that, especially nga yung 11 kill points that they did have, plus yung placement points nila na number 8. So sobrang impressive so far. At ito yung team na gusto natin makita, na just to have a really good stride into the competition. But obviously number 3, Blacklist International with those 18 points, medyo malaki pa rin yun. Like, even though hindi sila nagkabuya, that's still a lot of points going up against Geek Fam. But you know what? There's no stopping Geek Fam kasi sobrang galing talaga nila. Ego Oblivions, though, really surprising everyone with the 14 points and a really good strategy. Also, obviously, having that buya from a while ago. AKO Ligers doing a little bit better nga, di ba? 10 points already to their name. Kanina nga, nakita natin sila. They were at the pretty much bottom of the pack. And now, for everyone else on the right side of the screen, y'all need to do better, especially Do Easy. That's definitely one team that really nice to see really just improve. But now, speaking of the overall rankings that we have, the standings, Geek Fam extends the lead. Ito, 281 points tayo dito mga kaibigan, going up against Blacklist International with 264. And yes, granted, sobrang doable pa rin for Blacklist International, especially since they have a lot more games now. Now, Geek Fam, medyo step back sila today. So, medyo ba kabahan sila ng konti, diba? Kasi nga, Blacklist International, they have 2 more games. So, there's a lot of time for them to go and pick up the points. Do Easy, on the other hand, 204 points already. Humahabol na dito yung Overdose Esports with 200. So, obviously, for Do Easy, hindi komportable yung lead na yan. And it's kind of the same story also going for that number 5 spot. Todak with 193 points. And now, going over dito sa may kanang portion ng ating chart. Number 6, hard to get, 190. Slowly still keeping up with the competition here so far. Kayang-kaya nila overtake itong si Todak, pati si Overdose Esports easy, and even Do Easy as well. Axis Esports and E-Wolves Gang, they're going to be in that 7th and 8th spot with 173 and 160 points. Beta Esports finally, from the 14th spot a while ago, Neptune and Kuku, they finally found their footing with that number 9, 157 points. That is a big improvement, one of the best improvements that we've seen here today. And it's because of that teamwork that we saw from a while ago, the aggression that we know and love when it comes to this team, definitely go and pulled off. Ego Oblivions though, another really impressive start here, getting that top 12. But now, speaking of the boys themselves, and I'm really happy to see different faces here today. Daemon popping off with those 3 kills, damage 1,133 with a Charge Buster. Yun yung ray gun na sinasabi natin, yung favorite term ni Kuku, diba? So yeah, Daemon, really amazing stuff here. Finally picking things up for his team. Alam natin, siya yung laging natitira at nagaget ng points and kills for his team so far. Hopefully, everyone else from his team, especially McRory, needs to be like this guy. Geek Fam, you got 2 people. We got Matt, we got Figure, nothing new. We got Phoenix as well for Blacklist International with 6 kills. So with that into consideration, with Beta Esports showing everyone who's boss here, and maybe they didn't get the booyah, doesn't really matter, but finally finding their rhythm. And so now, Kuku, you got Beta Esports. They look like their old team. They look like their old selves, especially in the Philippines Open. What can they do to overtake at least one more team to be a little bit more comfortable in our tier list?
Well, what they can do is actually go back to yung strategy nila nung last year kasi it was actually very effective. The thing is, marami silang nadadaanan ng mga teams going through their rotations, and that's what keeping them from getting that booyah. Especially kapag nandun na sa part na merong Axis or maybe even Blacklist International, talagang mahirap eh. You're speaking of these top tier teams from Malaysia na kailangan nilang daanan. So siguro if ever man makita nila sa kill feed na yung Blacklist International nga talaga yun, it's best for them to just rotate away from them and maybe get inside the zone in a different rotation instead of rotating through those top tier teams.
That's true. Being adaptable is definitely something that we have seen in Beta Esports. Di ba nga doon sa last game natin, game number 4, medyo nahirapan kasi sila dati mag-adjust. They keep doing the same strategy over and over again. But it's a good thing now, they're still doing something similar pa rin nga. Parang iniiwasan na yung mga moments na, okay, hindi tayo mananalo dito sa gunfight na to. So that's why we're gonna be changing things up, di ba? So now we are going into our match number 5 is going to be Purgatory. Different map, different feel, and medyo mahirap to because you are going a reset over here. A and C will now go up against one another. Feeling ko, baka for Beta Esports, they might have an easier time to rack up the points because Geek Fam is gonna be gone. Wala na sila. Yung competitor nila, they're one of the teams that has stopped them from getting a lot of points. Now, Neptune, who do you think from group number A can go and basically try to stop Geek Fam and with the points? I mean, obviously they're not going to be here, but to rack up the points, who can stop Blacklist International and maybe even help Beta Esports out?
I would say, hard to get. No? Hard to get has been an aggressive team and also going in on those engagement. It's just at some point, meron talagang mga puntos na uunahan sila, especially in positioning. Pero once they got the groove, they are going in for aggression. Bloodyheads is also doing a great job, especially for today. No? Ibang pinapakita ng mga tropa natin ng Bloodyheads. Unfortunate for them. Well, hopefully it's not unfortunate kasi nagpahinga sila for the past 2 matches. So hopefully they still have that motivation and they get back on track sa ginagawa nila from what they did earlier.
Oh, definitely getting back on track. Honestly, Bloodyhead and Todak, ito yung teams na medyo nahirapan na in the past few rounds. I don't think they've had like a solid booyah yet here so far na in the basically past few games in the last day number 1. But Bloodyhead looking very promising, especially with the guidance of Mark and Morgana. These two guys can definitely go and duo it up. So ngayon, now we're finally going into our next matchup. It is going to be here in Purgatory yet again. You are gonna be leaving here. Papalabas na tayo sa Beef Mommy Station. And at the moment, papatarating na tayo dito sa my Purgatory map. So, casters, take away the plane, take the driver's seat, and let's go.
Alright, hijack na natin tong plane na to. And, sabi nga, I really love that. I get reminded nun Kuko TV, no? Arriving at Purgatory. Parating na sa Purgatorio. Ano kaya kung ganun yung ano?
Ano yung
ganun
LRT?
I mean, imagine, since the Purgatory, di ba, Purgatorio, imagine like the story and the myth and whatever. Paano kaya kung ganun nga yung mangyayari? Parating na sa Purgatorio. But anyways, kidding aside, we are here right now on a map or match number 5. At ito nga, coming in from the left, ang ating flight will be from the left to the right and then spread out na nga ang mga teams natin dito. Ego Oblivions will be taking a first drop as well together with Eastern Wolves gang. And nakapagtaka, Jay-Z is a little bit too far for the drop. A little too close naman dito sa Orange Esports. And speaking of drop, especially for the analysis side, what is going on in their mind, Kuko TV, pag ganito yung ginagawa nila?
Well, titingnan natin no yung actually ito Neptune, kung mapapansin mo ngayon, let me actually tell you this first. Walang magkakasabay.
Oh,
Pansin mo?
Medyo layo-layo sila.
Lumayo-layo sila, and actually this is good, and we have seen this from yesterday also, Neptune, na wala talaga nagkakasabayan dito sa Group A and C. Remember na yung Group B nagpahinga na.
Yep.
They're done for the night, and now it's gonna be Group A coming back together with Group C. There's a chance na maglaban dito. By the way though, yung Axis and Bloodyheads, na kita mo yung yung barilan dun sa may bandang kaliwa or kanan ng ating mapa. Pero ito na nga, men, Spark tries to spray down. Napaka-early to for Todak. Really, really aggressive for Team Todak. And script shots, napakahirap na position nila dito. Nasa ilalim sila ng ng bridge dito together with their teammates, and Todak will probably try to push them now.
Yeah, I mean, naiintindihan ko rin kung bakit pinupush nila dito. Kasi looking at this compound, no, konti lang yung malulot nila dito. And then Spark went ahead. Tapos yung ibang mga tropa like Pedro and the rest of the teams, nag-loot muna sila bago sila nag-push. And there you go, Jamblo right now. Oh, a good turnaround. But Jamblo will be taken down. De Vera in there going in against Spark. Mukhang nagkamali ata ng mga pasok dito ang mga tropa natin ng Todak. And Todak right now will be in trouble. Oh, there's goes Barret. Chill and Paper right now for the side of Todak is going in for this hit, and the script shots will be taken down. Grabe, ang bilis, no? When we thought mabaliktad na ng script shots yung laban against Todak, tapos binaliktad ulit. So, alam mo yun, nag-roller coaster na yung labanan nilang dalawa.
Totoo yan. And sabi ni Chill, Daddy Chill, huwag muna kayo. Mag-chill muna kayo sa lobby. Lobby chill. Pero right now, Bloodyheads, sila naman na nandito sa Ski Lodge. Remember, men, Umbrella Reborn yung kasabay ng Axis Esports dito sa area na to. And Axis not really going to that location. Siguro natuto na rin sila. They wanted it na makapag-groupings muna sila, makapag-loot muna sila and everything before sila pumasok doon sa area na yun. And andun sila sa Forge, which is actually a really good compound. Kaso nga lang, si Chill ay matatamaan na nga, and I believe that's gonna be Ego Oblivions ang may dahilan kung bakit namatay si Chill. So it's going to be Ames, si Pedro, at saka isa nilang kasama na nandoon will be the only remaining players remaining here para sa TDK. And JC Jacob here. Let's see, what would JC Jacob do? Yun yung tanong namin ni Vil nung last time
What would JC Jacob do? Well, sa tingin ko ito, naghahanap ng alaban. But it's a good way. Nagpa-ninja muna si Ames dito. And then the rest of the teams was able to spread out. But the thing is, ang ganda rin pinakita ng Ego Oblivions. No? Going in on that fight, going in for this area, after that engagement, they have an opportunity para maapag, vulture dito against Todak. Mas maganda lang yung pinakita ng Todak kasi si Ames, like for example, just waiting for a signal for the rest of the
Ang cute
team
ng aso.
bago sila pumasok at and then regroup with Spark and as well as Pedro. Pero yun nga, hanggang cute ng pinakita ng pet ni Ames, and the revive will be coming back, bringing Spark in together with Todak.
And yun nga, napakakit ng aso na yun. Kamukha nung aso kung si Lala. Napakataba. Pero right now, ITX, again, the team that has not really shown that much of any potential since week number 1. And may sinasabi tayo dito, no, nung kagaya nung dati, nung kasama natin sila Vil and Terror, na baka tinatago na lang nila yung natatago nilang lakas hanggang sa huling week. And then all of a sudden, ITX would go up, getting 6 buyas in a row. Di ba?
Malay natin, di ba?
Malay
Posible.
natin, di ba?
Hindi natin, alam mo yun, hindi natin masasabi kasi katulad ngayon, this might be the go signal from Bete Esports. Nakita natin sila mag-pop off. So siguro si Tactical Index medyo mas confident pa sila sa kanilang sarili kaya pwede pa tayo mag-delay. Pero ito nang mukhang naghahabulan natin mga tropa natin ng Access and Blacklist, and Cobra was able to peel out from this fight. Babalik naman dito si Cobbs and trying to regroup with the rest of the teams. Ito naman ang ibang mga tropa natin. We have Zipnu as well as Lux GG and Phoenix naman nandito taking this compound at maganda rin yung pwestuhan na to. You have a lot of compound, a lot of cover, as well as visibility doon sa nakapaligid sa'yo.
Totoo yan. And by the way, shoutout pala kay Lux GZ. Belated happy birthday sa'yo. Nakita ko yung picture niya with the management of Blacklist International sa Malaysia. Kasi sinend nung manager nila sa akin si Ping or aka RTA, Boss RTA. Pero yun nga, dahil birthday niya kahapon, tingnan natin kung birthday pa rin niya ngayong araw na to. Hindi araw-araw birthday Neptune. So tingnan natin kung mananalo ulit ang Blacklist International. Pero right now, talking about Neptune, we are seeing Neptune here on the screen. How are you doing this, Neptune? Paano mo ginagawa to? Nagkakast ka, naglalaro ka, hinati mo pa yung sarili mo sa dalawa.
Para kailangan ko na magpalit ng pangalan. Lalo na kasi yung image ng Axis ngayon, I'm pretty sure they will be stamped into the names of Free Fire. So kung nandito pa rin tayo sa Free Fire, baka kailangan ko na magpalit ng pangalan kasi nandiyan na si Too Fast GG, wherein I'm usually called as GG because of Gentleman Gaming. Tapos nandiyan pa si Neptune. Saan na ako lulugar?
Hanapin mo sa Google Maps kung saan ka lulugar. Pero yun na nga, men, this is going to be Orange Esports and Do Easy. Ito yung dalawang team na magkapareho ng halos kapareho ng tag. Simula ng name nila. Pero yun na nga, men, nagkakabalagbaga na nga sila dito. With Do Easy having the advantage, knocking Orange Esports down. At si Goku mag-instant transmission na nga, pero hindi niya kayang lumayas sa lugar na to. Pero yun na nga, Goku able to drop one down. However, men, Orange Esports na nga ay mawawala. And ito yung sinasabi ko, men. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa Do Easy. Do Easy can do it. If anyone can beat Blacklist International or yung other top teams like yung kaninang Geek Fam, yung Do Easy, kayang-kaya nila yun.
Oo, kailangan talaga nilang may balik lang yung aggression nila eh. Kasi there's a certain point of aggression coming from Do Easy na talagang nagagawa nilang sumabay sa mga tropa natin, especially for the top dogs on the leaderboards. Pero ito, on the other side mo, nakakita tayo ng laban ng hard to get in Axis, and it is one down already for the side of Axis, habang mga tropa naman natin dito ng hard to get will not be that easy. Habang si Aris naman nandito, pumuputok na nga on the other side, at we have Too Fast GG being shot at by both JC and Shadow. And Shadow, bahala na si Shadow dyan. Let's go! Hard to get.
And Shadow able to get those shots, and now Neptune umuusok na ang motor mo. Merong atang delivery si Neptune. Pwede na rin siyang angkas driver or food panda delivery. Pero right now, looking at the situation, Lux GC waiting for Bete Esports dito sa bridge na to, bridge camp. Ang peg ng Lux GC na to, nakamukha ni Balakid. And right now, Cobbs is actually down here for Axis Esports. Ego Oblivions. Sino kaya naka-knockdown dito? I think it's Ego. Ego able to knock Axis down, and this is gonna be... Uy, naku, nasira yung mga glue wall galing sa Hame Wave. ng Ego Oblivions, and my son will be able to take out Neptune. At napakadaming mga nanakdown sa kill feed. Makrori with that nade onto the side of Do Easy. And right now, Do Easy fighting against Beta Esports and Axis right now. I might eliminate Good Day Manager, sabi ng Ego.
Napalibutan na nga po ang mga tropa natin dito ng Axis, and Ego Oblivion was able to eliminate them. Now, speaking of napapalibutan, Makrori and Forbids, the dynamic duo. Makasurvive kaya sila dito sa mga kalaban nila against Do Easy. And Do Easy right here is on fire. We have Jespu going in for the rush, at nakita mo na yung flank dito ni Spade, no? Kitang-kita natin yung Spade, yung aggressiveness ng Spade. Siguro yun yung inaantay talaga ng team. But there goes a grenade! Spade was able to get down just in the nick of time, and Forbids right now going in for that spam against Spade, and napakaganda rin ang ikot ng pinakita dito ng rest of Do Easy, but the glue wall will be able to prevent them, but Jesbu will be taken down as well. Forbids, napakaganda naman ng pasok, and the 2v3 is now a 2v2.
Napakaganda naman ang depensa na ginagawa ng Vete Esports. Kaso nga lang, Makrori ay mananakdown na nga. Nag-iisa na lang ang buhay dito. At maganda ang ginawa ng Do Easy dito. Forbids, huli ka, nagulat ka. Nasa bintana na kami, pero Chronosphere, mga kaibigan, para sa Do Easy. Pero no! Vete ang mananalo. PH number 1, sabi nga ng Vete Esports.
Vete is back! And speaking of PH, napapalaban ng hard to get against Todak. And let's see kung sino nga magwawagi dito. It's a 4v3 situation. And here comes Insanely going in for that push as well as the rest of the team. And with that quickly, Todak na todas ng hard to get.
Pahala na si Shadow. Yun yung masasabi ko dito sa nangyari sa H2G at Todak. Pero men, Circle is now within the reach of Blacklist International. Bloody Heads, napapalapit na nga dito. Bloody Heads actually, men, sa totoo lang, medyo bumaba yung performance nila this week. Nung last week, sobrang ganda na naging performance nila. Ano kaya ang nangyari sa Bloody Heads? Well, titignan natin kung makakapasok sila dito, as Blacklist International is actually gatekeeping itong area na to, at meron pang pwedeng mag third party, which is yung ITX na nasa ilalim nila.
Oh, medyo mahirapan ng Bloody Heads dito, no? As they try to go in that area. Tapos gine-gatekeep ka pa ng Blacklist, tapos meron ka pa dito sa baba na tactical index. It would be a good distraction for the side of Blacklist. Pero ito, maute, napabagsak na nga. And Mark right now going in for that hit. Oh! Riwanas in there will be taken down. And si Mark, napakaganda naman ng pwestuhan dito. And a good cover as well against Blacklist.
And right now, men, isa na lang natitira for ITX, si Siyux na lang. Si Rewana kanina, kakanta muna after neto. Lux GZ will try to, get a shot dun sa may side ng ITX. Kaso nga lang, si Shadow ay binaril na nga itong Blacklist International. So magandang ginagawang third party ng H2G, and now on the kill feed, Morgana takes out si Lux GZ. So Bloody Heads, this is their time para pumasok na ng bilog. And at the same time, si Siyux din ay sasali na nga sa pagpasok sa circle. Pero H2G, ito na ang mga Pilipino, men. Laban Pilipinas, H2G, Blacklist International. Sandwich na kayo sa amin. And let's see, GZ will now try to eliminate itong si Lux GZ. Nakuha pa nga niya yung knockdown na ginawa ng Bloody Heads. Pero yun nga, si Zapto ay mananakdown na rin. Nag-iisa na lang ang player ng Blacklist International. At nasasandwich siya ng 8 Pilipino.
Pero ito na nga, nagdedelikado. Maute has been taken down. Ito na, pinasa ang naglalaban. Bloody Heads against hard to get. Sino kaya mananaig? Sino kaya mananalo dito sa dalawang Pinoy na kupunan na nagkakaharap ngayon? Kaloy right now is in here with a backup coming from Morgana. Pero Vete Esports na eliminate na sa laban na yun from the other side. And Aries will be going in. Kami-Hemingway from behind and taking out all those glue walls. Si Mark naman nandito mo. Onda pa na nga ata. And it is still 4-man strong for the side of hard to get. Bloody Heads not looking good for them.
At when you talk about looking good, EWG, man, tamang chilling like a villain lang sa south ng circle natin. They're just chilling right there. Inahayaan lang niya na maglaban tong dalawang Pinoy teams.
Bala kayo.
Na Morgana, now with that night vision na meron siya, able to knock down itong si Shadow courtesy of Mark. And now, this is the time para makapasok ng Bloodheads. Kaso nga lang, ang focus nila ngayon ay nandito na sa ITX at nagulat na nga dito ay sa player ng ITX sa Sinong. And there you have it, man. Knockdown din si Mark at the same time at mukhang ibibigay na ng Bloodheads itong mga knockdown na players nila. So it's going to be a 4v1 situation para dito EWG Bloodheads versus H2G. Sino kaya ang mananaig?
Sino mananaig? Sino magwawagi? Ares has been taken down and it is from the hands of Tuaz. No? Ang ganda ng pwestuhan. Medyo matagal nag-abang ang mga tropa natin ng Eastern Wolves. Ganga dito at mukhang inip na sila dito at gusto nilang pumatay, gusto nilang pumitas. And here we go, slowly but surely. Tamang lakad lang sa Gedli ang mga tropa natin ng hard to get, and the shots right now, Bloodheads has been eliminated. It is insane who's able to go in for that elimination. At si Monito naman nandito, no? Tamang abang-abang lang din. Now both teams are already outside of the next safe zone and pareho silang may opportunity para makapag-gatekeep. Ang tanong, sino kaya mauuna or sino kaya ang unang magpapakita?
Titingnan natin, still yung advantage para sa akin still EWG na. Sila yung mas malapit sa circle right now. Ang magiging mangyari dito, Neptune, is yung H2G, i-gatekeep nila. Pero yung ganda na ginawa ni Shadow, man. Shadow actually takes control of the circle. Yung tatlo ay nasa labas. And Shadow right now, one man strong na nasa harapan. I think this is going to be a really good battle para sa dalawang kupunan na to.
Definitely, no? Magandang pinakita dito ng mga tropa natin. Hard to get, no? Tamang tago lang sa puno and here comes the shot. And hindi pa rin yung mga sa mga tropa natin ng Eastern Wolves gang. So I think the moment na lumiit na yung ating bilog, medyo magkakahirapan na nga sila dito. Nagkakabawasan pero hindi pa nagkakapitasan. Yun na nga abangan natin. 12 kills for the side of Hard to get. 4 kills naman on the other side. There you go. We have Ares who has been taken down. Oh, the grenade in there. Taken down Daisy. At dalawa lang natitira sa Hard to get. Isa na lang. Bahala na si Shadow.
Bahala na si Batman. Tingnan natin, 4v1. Wala pa talaga ako nakikitang nananalo sa ganito. Pero baka si Shadow na nga ang unang makakagawa. Pero ito na nga na Kamehameha pa sa pagmumuka. And Batman, wala na nga. AKA Shadow and a booyah para sa EWG. The first ever booyah na meron sila dito sa league stage. Nabati ko, Neptune.
Well, at least, no, may nakita tayo ng ibang team na kuha ng buya dito. Eastern Wolves Gang finally taking that 1 point on the buya board. Pero sabi ko nga, patience is a virtue. Pero itong pinakita ng Eastern Wolves Gang, talagang sobrang patient sila. Despite of not having a lot of kills, they were able to wait out dalawang team na pumasok doon final circle, and also hard to get, trying to go in for that flank na kontra pa rin nila doon, surviving with more members compared to the opponent.
And you can see here the highlights, man. Early in the game, we have script shots na, again, hirap na hirap sa positioning nila. Tumutok ay nag-push dito sa side nila. At nakita naman natin, no, kung anong ginawa ng Tumutok dito sa script shot. Talagang pinalagbag. Napakaagang nawala sa lobby natin. And at the same time, Orange Esports din, ganun din yung nangyari sa kanila. Pero H2G, maganda ang pinapakita nila. Maganda yung adjustment coming from week number 1 going into week number 2. Na kung saan, nung week number 1, kapag kalaban nila yung Group C, talagang ewan ko ano nangyayari kila Shadow. Pero ngayon, talagang lumalaban sila hanggang sa huli. Ang naging problema lang talaga sa H2G is yung EWG nakapwesto na doon sa compound na yun. And napakaaga silang nandun lang. Nag-chill lang sila, hinahayaan lang nila yung Bloodheads, H2G, Blacklist International at saka ITX na maglaban-laban until the very end, na kung saan si Shadow na lang natira. Napakalabong mangyari. Siguro 5% chance na malalo dun si Shadow, which is sobrang labo. Still, what a good effort there coming from H2G. Again, wala pa atang nananalong Pinoy, no, ng buya ngayong araw.
For today, well, we have Ego.
Ay, oo,
If I'm
Ego,
not
nanalo
mistaken,
pala yung Ego.
Ego Oblivions, ayan. So, pero yun nga, no? Kanina nakita natin yung pagkaka-pinch kay Blacklist International. Parang, alam mo yun, ang bilis, ang dami nga nabaliktad na sitwasyon. Bloodheads against Blacklist International, tapos pumasok si Hard to Get sa likod, tapos pininch sila dito, nagkalaban naman hanggang naghiwalay yung Bloodheads as well as Hard to Get. But let's see, mukhang mas maraming nakita at si Beef Mami dito sa ating pinanood. So Beef Mami, what do you think about that previous game?
Oh, wow. Things definitely turned around dito sa previous game natin in Purgatory. As in, sobrang iba yung nakita natin. Medyo nahirapan ang Blacklist International. Ang daming third party, ang daming naiipit. Feeling ko one of my favorite parts nung, I think it was Blacklist International, ITX, Bloody Heads, but out of nowhere, H2G just comes out of nowhere. Just gets a lot of these kills. Kaya sobrang ganda nung final circle kasi nga everyone just had to push, had to cross over into the bridge, and eventually EWG versus H2G in the very end. Akala ko nga Bloody Heads was gonna be able to get a lot of these kills kasi feeling ko dito na sila naging komportable. I know in the previous matches that we have today, medyo naiwanan na sila in terms of the points, pero very, very impressive recovery and adjustment coming into the side of not only Bloody Heads but also for H2G as well. So the Philippines definitely picking up the points, pero feeling ko they need to pick it up like very, very soon. Kasi if they don't keep the momentum up right now, there is not going to be a Filipino team in the top 5, maybe at the exception of H2G. So yeah, so far H2G looking really good for the Philippines. Blacklist International though still getting a lot of the points. But speaking of the points, here are the standings that we have in that previous matchup. Number 1, hard to get. And speaking of the Philippines, 21 points. And even though wala silang buya, they still come out on top. And yan ang momentum na sinasabi natin na kailangan nila sakyan. But number 2 though, it's going to be Eastern Wolves Gang with the first buya that they had and 20 total points. So ang ganda rin ng apak nila dito, doing such a good job at just battling everyone out, letting everyone else battle each other. Bloody Heads on the other hand, ang ganda na nakita ko dito. You know, like Kuku and Neptune, puro Philippines. Feeling ko first time na puro Philippines lang, mas madaming Pinoy dito sa may left-hand corner of our screen. So yeah, Bete Esports looking really solid again. I feel like yung confidence nila from that past matchup in Bermuda definitely gave them a little bit of a speed boost. Now, 10 total points for them. That's gonna be number 4 spot. Do Easy on the other hand, doing a pretty okay job. 8 points, still very big, but definitely they need to pick up the pace into the next half. And now Ego Oblivions doing a really good job, especially with that number 1 Booyah from a while ago. And now the MVPs for today, we do have EWG Monito, we have H2G JZ, we got another, we got 3 H2Gs over here, Shadow and Aries as well. And now you can see here how much of a beautiful pace that these boys definitely have, especially Tumutok, 4, 3, and 3. Maganda yung points na yan because you need to get a lot of the points gathering up into our day number 3 for tomorrow. So they're definitely ending the day well. EWG Monito, we keep fangirling about this boy ever since a while ago. He's been doing such a good job and now he has the most points as well. 6 kills, but obviously not as much as Shadow. But again, sobrang galing ng mga players at the moment. H2G looking like they are on fire. And now, Neptune. With that in mind, EWG and Team Philippines, medyo naka-pick up na yung pace for these teams. What do you think happened there?
Yeah, I mean, it has been turned around earlier on. Maganda rin naging pwestuhan nila. And as we've mentioned earlier, wala masyadong nagka-drop on the same spot. So, a good momentum, not just for the Philippines, but also for the Malaysian teams. Kasi makaka-gather sila ng loot. I think it was only Todak who was a little too aggressive in the start of that match. Tapos, nakabawi sila against, or nabawian naman sila towards the end nung may pumasok na, I think it's Bloody Heads who went against them. But apart from that, everyone else took their time and took all those resources and then went into for the battle and finishing up with those 3 teams, or actually the 2 teams na unfortunate. It was a good engagement against Eastern Wolves and hard to get, pero wala tayong magagawa. Eastern Wolves Gang was able to take that booyah.
Absolutely. I mean, even if they did take the booyah, Bloody Heads and also H2G still did a really tremendous job, even representing the Philippines, right? And now you did say a really good point a while ago, Purgatory, medyo slow ang gameplay, medyo passive siya kasi nga everyone was like spread out at the moment. And that's what you keep thinking, diba, Kuku? If you see these teams having an easier time in the early game kasi spread out sila, does that mean yung mga Filipino teams, they do a little bit better on the passive end? Kasi nga Ego Oblivions, they did the booyah a while ago because they were just waiting there, just waiting for their prey to come. But maybe yun yung strength ng Pinoy, diba? The fact that you can go, just wait for it, you get it in time, just like a snake hiding in a bush. Ito na nga ang mga ahas, lalabas na nga dito sa kanilang labasan, dito sa kanilang kuweba. As we are heading out into our final game of the day, Bermuda Station going in there, driver's seat already unlocked. Kuku, gentlemen, take it away.
Alrighty, you mentioned about snakes, and we're coming into the plains. So snakes in the plains, there is, and here we go. No, jumping in dito na nga sa madamo, mabundok at matubig na mapa ng ating Bermuda match number 6, the final match for tonight. Sino kaya ang mananaig dito? Sino kaya magpapakitang gila? Sino kaya magpapakitang tapang sa ating huling ganap na ito? Tingnan natin ang ating mapa kung sino ang magkakaharap-harap agad-agad at kung i-apply pa nila yung pinakita sa Purgatory kanina na medyo hiwa-hiwalay, walang nagkasabay sa mga drop points.
Well, titignan natin yun. Ito yung huling last game
Mhm.
sa araw na to. And you can see right there, man, Axis at ITX. Nako. ITX pa ang nakalaban ng Axis. So, probably this is gonna be an easy win if you look at the statistics. Pero, let's see kung makakaisa yung ITX. Actually,
nice
yun na nga.
Ito na nga mga tropa natin ng tactical index, mukhang papasok na nga sila dito, but one also being taken down. Pero ito, ibang aggressiveness pinapakita ng tactical index. Pero ito, isa-isa ang mga tropa. Si Vegeta going in for that hit, and it is now a 1v1 situation unless, Axis Esports has been taken down, at ang tactical index, huwag nyo kaming maliitin dahil kami ay tactical.
And ITX, man, surprising. You don't expect this type of performance, man, sa ITX. Pero yun na nga, is this it? Ito na ba yun, Neptune? Ito na ba yung turning point ng ITX? Siguro, ito na nga talaga yun. Pero yun nga, kailangan nila mag-focus ngayon, focus sa goal, di ba? You're talking about motivation kanina eh. Siyempre, dapat focus sila sa goal. And ITX has one man down and they can easily get a revive later on. Pero script shots right now, just looting around sila sa heat dito sa may bandang observatory. They can actually get pushed either by one of these teams na nandito. We have Orange Esports and ITX. Bet Esports naman ay nandoon sa may tabi lang ng ITX. But again, it is gonna be a really long battle kasi nga, iba-iba yung mga drop points ng lahat ng team.
Pero ito na nga, si Jibat. Ang lakas ng loob ni Jibat. Pumunta sa gitna ng mga kalaban. And here we go. Going in for this push. And sino kaya ang mananaig? There goes Jibat. Being taken down by script shots. Gitnang-gitna yung kanyang nilabagan. Sa gitna ng 4. Humaliri.
And right now, the Beta gets the knockdown. There you go. Mali ang pinasukan niyang liga. Neptune. Bakit ka tumalon papunta doon? It's going to be Orange Esports still be able to get a revive here. Napakaaga pa. At ito na nga, babalik na sila dito sa area na kung saan sila nanggaling. And we'll probably get the 2 revives for Jebat at sa kay Torm. And because right now, tamang delivery muna. Scout lang pag may time. And this is going to be a really good compound kung makuha man nila to. Kasi walang katao-tao dito.
And here comes Goku right now. Ito, mukhang nakakita ng signal si Deco's that someone was shooting at him. So, malalaman natin. Ito na naman, ang catapult of death. Akala ko lilipad na naman siya dito eh. And yun yung nag-cause ng pagkabagsak ni Jebat as well as ni Torm. So, we'll have to find out. I think naghahanap lang sila dito na kung sino yung bumaril kanina kay I forgot the name, but one of the members of Orange Esports. Pero ito nga, Ego Oblivions right now. Rim Nam Village. Nagpapalamig talaga ang mga tropa nating Pinoy na nakapansin ko. Nagiging pattern na yon. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm really crossing my fingers. Babagsak na naman tayo sa water circle. I hope so.
Well, let's see here. Dito naman tayo sa team ng Ego Oblivions. Nakakuha na sila ng buya kanina. Ang question lang talaga sa team na to is, can they be more aggressive? Ang tagal nilang nagiging passive every each game. And the only time na talagang aggressive sila is by the end of the game, which is gonna be around 3 teams remaining or 4 teams remaining. Pero ito na nga, si Shadow, scouting itong factory area at nandirito ang team ng TDK. And Shadow right now, nagpapanggap na damo itong si Batman.
Alam mo yun, nagtatago ka na lang sa dilim, tapos magpapanggap ka pang damo, no? We'll have to find out how well will this work against Shadow. Pero wala naman sila masyado nakapaligid sa kanila. So, I think they're safe. It's just that they're getting their opportunity to take over the factory. And not too far behind is tactical index at mukhang nakabalik na nga ata yung ibang mga tropa nila doon, and we'll have to find out how well will they respond dito sa mga laban na to. And hard to get, still playing hard to get. Oh, and here we go, mukhang ito ata tinatarget nila ang mga Todak, wherein they have already overtaken the factory and getting their position, but so far no one is contesting it.
Itong factory na to, napaka-strong compound or strong area to. If ever man dito nag-end up yung circle, so yung Todak talagang sinisigurado nila na sa kanila talaga yung lugar na yun. Still currently inside the zone, and at the same time itong SSZ trying to still loot up. Again, itong SSZ kanina pa to naglo-loot. So talagang marami na rin ang naiipon nila dito, and kita-kita naman natin, Orange Esports still looting around the area, at may nakita siyang poster doon, tinignan pa niya. Pero again, Orange Esports down to 2 remaining players. I'm not sure why na hindi pa nila nabibili yung kanilang dalawang teammates. Siguro kulang pa sila sa credits.
It's possible, or hindi nila nakuha yung cards earlier. We'll have to find out, no? Kasi medyo naiiwan na nga, medyo nahiwalay. And if that's not the, if that is the case na hindi nila may babalik, we're back to season 2. Alam mo yun, placement points ang labanan dahil hindi mo na ma-revive yung mga teammates mo. Now, going back, speaking of season 2, no, a team that really gave us promise coming from season 2, Bloody Heads. So, tingnan natin, are they going to improve this time the same as what we've seen from Vede Esports, or mapapag-iwanan ba ulit sila dahil nakita natin maraming mga teams na out of the blue, biglang naglalabas, nagpapakitang gilas, pinapakita na nga kung ano yung tinatago nila. And here we go, the circle will be switching over at mas maraming nasa loob, at yung mga teams like Orange Esports, Script Shots, and Tactical Index will be left outside, as well as Ego Oblivions.
And right now, H2G, hindi na pala nila inantay yung Todak. Pumunta na sila sa gitna ng circle. And right now, Blacklist International ay malapit sa kanila. Blacklist ngayon ay actually delikado dito kasi Do Easy din ay nandito sa other side. So nasa sandwich sila ngayon ng dalawang teams, and napakahirap ng positioning nila dito. But Cobra, hindi siya papayag na ma-sandwich sila ng Do Easy. Pero yun nga, it's gonna be a 3v1 situation dito sa side na to. Tapos yung kasama ni Cobra dun sa other side ay ngayon ay pinapahirapan na nga. And this is Zapnu right now. Ay mananakdown na nga ni Bayat. Si Bayat galit na galit, sinira ang glue wall, sinira ang kinabukasan ni Zapnu.
And here we go, no, Cobra on the other side, going in for the heal, pero mukhang malilikot na nga ata dito ng mga tropa natin ng Do Easy. Too Bad right now is going in for the push, and also shots coming from Spade. We have a Too Bad for that plank. We are going to see a pinch against Cobra, pero si Cobra na nga, no, despite of losing Zipnu as well as Lux GG, Cobra nagtitig ito, and the push is on, and there goes Temmal going in for that jump shot. We are now left with only one member, si Phoenix na lang natitira dito for the side of Blacklist International. Not looking good for them, and tamang takbo lang muna si Phoenix, and hopefully he'll be able to go and take those revives for his teammate. Otherwise, placement na naman ang labanan, and in this critical situation, huling last game na nga, sabi mga paring Goku, no, kailangan nilang makabawi sa puntos.
Totoo yan. At sabi ko nga, I told you, Beep Mommy, Do Easy can do it, man. Blacklist International down to only one remaining player, and sino ang nakatalo sa kanila? Do Easy, di ba? Napakasimple. And right now, Todak, kailangan nilang pumasok na dito, or actually pumasok sa bilog. Especially yung factory, medyo nasa edge yata siya na circle kanina. Pero nga lang, ang nangyayari ngayon ay bumabalik sila sa kanilang lungga. And it's probably because na merong Bloody Heads na nakapantay dun sa isang compound pa na pwede rin silang mag-gatekeep if ever man mawala yung circle sa kanila. And right now, ITX, naalala mo kanina, Neptune, nakapatay sila ng isang top team dito sa league stage. And right now, they're able to position themselves right beside H2G. Tamang neighborhood lang ang gusto ngayon ng ITX together with the team na nasa harapan nila, which is Do Easy. But again, man, a lot of teams are remaining. 11 teams pa rin, men. And we're now on the second phase. medyo lumilit na rin ang circle. So, kumukonti na rin yung mga spots na pwede nilang puntahan.
Oo. Gusto ko malaman kung sino real estate agent dito, no? Parang lahat ng bahay ata ay meron na nakatira. Makikita natin na iba-ibang teams ang nakatira sa iba't ibang bahay dito sa lugar na to. We have Factory wherein Tumutok is in there. We have Bloody Heads as well as Ego, Oblivions, EWG on the other side. At lumipat na naman ang circle on this area. Out in the open, now, out in the open near Factory, and Tumutok has an advantage against everyone else. The Orange Esports makakalaban nila dito, and it will be very difficult for the side of Do Easy and Script Shots as well as other teams na nandoon sa taas na kailangang tumakbo sa loob ng bilog na magpapakita sa lahat ng mga teams na nakaabang.
And again, napakahirap na hard shift ng bilog, men. Yung akala mo nandun na sa may north side or maybe east side, pumunta pa sa southwest side. And there he goes. He will be the last member left. And Do Easy, man, is doing it. 6 kills, man, ang meron sila. And it's because of Jembal together with Bayet na kanina pa galit na galit. Kanina pa sila namamaril eh. And right now, ang magiging problema lang nila dito is yung bilog talaga kasi nandun sila sa far side ng area, ng play zone. Pero yun na nga, man, Blacklist International, nabuo na rin uli ang kanilang banda. At dahil yun sa revive na ginawa ni Phoenix, and right now, they're having a really hard time, man. Lux GZ, hindi mo na birthday. Sabi ng EWG.
Hindi mo na birthday pero bibigyan ang regalo. Regalo sa'yo ay shots from EWG. At ito nga po, we have a Blacklist International trying to survive this fight. EWG is gatekeeping them as well as Tumutok right now is in here gatekeeping other of the teams who are going into the next circle. Ego Oblivion sa makakaharap nila dito from the other side matapos ng laban na naganap from Orange Esports. So let's see how Spark and the rest of the teams are going to hold them off habang nandito na nga Ego Oblivions mukhang unti-unting nag-creep in from the outside of Factory, and hopefully they'll be able to take them down. But the question is, how will that happen on the other side? Ito nga, BTE Sports right now napalaban sa mga tropa ng Tactical Index, at ito ang mga tropa natin BTE Sports back. Rory is back on that grenade launcher, going in for that takedown, and the grenade has been thrown by Ruanas, and Shooks na lang nandito and Shooks to go. Let's go!
At ito na nga, kahit walang sauce, men, napakasarap ni Shooks, and ginawa na niya lahat ng kaya niyang gawin. And it's now down to Makorori, ang na remaining player ng team ng Vete Esports, at di niya alam na nasa likod lang itong si Shooks. And there you go, H2G able to defeat itong si Forbids together with Makorori. Actually, buhay pa si Makorori! Makorori, buhay pa! Ninalabas na nga niya ang grenade launcher na wala pa nga isang player ng H2G. Si Shooks, buhay pa rin ba? Si Shooks, Neptune.
Mukhang na-eliminate nata si Shooks, pero ito, I like to see what is going to happen. Oh, what happened there? Jay-Z from the other side going in for the kill against Makrori. But hard to get, mukhang hindi sila ito ang magandang magkalaban. Hard to get and Do Easy. Talagang kontrahan itong dalawang koponan. And we have Jay-Z right now on the snipe going in against Jembal. Nasa labas bilang ng circle, and the rest of the teams are also struggling. Bloody Heads ang may opportunity dito to gatekeep some of the teams. Blacklist is also outside and battling out EWG, and Bloody Heads might just be waiting. But going back to the fight against Hard to Get and Do Easy, sino kaya ang mananalo dito? Paring Kuko.
Well, titignan natin kung sino mananalo dito. Do Easy and H2G. Dalawang teams na talagang gustong umangat sa overall standing. And right now, I think yung H2G ay magpo-focus na dito sa northern side ng circle. Parang hindi yata napansin ng Do Easy kasi nga merong parang area dito na hindi nila makita kung saan pupunta yung kalaban nila. And right now, dito naman tayo sa other side. We have Bloody Heads, Blacklist International, EWG. Napakadaming labanan dito. Parang triple threat match royal rumble pa ang gusto ng mga teams ito. And EWG still going at it here at Blacklist International, and Zapno na lang ang natitira. Tingnan natin kung anong gagawin ni Zapno dito. Bloody Heads, Tumutok will get eliminated, by the way, on the kill feed here. But EWG, Jace, handa na para lumaban dito, pero wala siyang madadaanan doon dahil sa glue wall na nilagay ng Bloody Heads. And Morgana here for Bloody Heads, still alive, 3-man strong pa rin ang mga Pinoy pinating Bloody Heads. Pero EWG, men. Jace, nag-iisa ka dito at pinush ka nga ni Maute. Gulat ka doon. And right now, Bloody Heads able to eliminate them, and at the same time, men, yung circle pumapal pa sa side nila.
Andiyan na nga po, Blacklist International has been eliminated, and also Ego Oblivion, surprisingly too easy, nakaplace on lab, but Bloody Heads right now with the remaining 2 members. Okay, ito mabibilangin natin. Now we have 2 members from Bloody Heads. Oh, Mark was able to take down Jembal, a good balance indeed. We have 1 member from Eastern Wolves Gang as well from the map, and hard to get naman on the other side. So 3 members naman dito from Do Easy. Now let's get all to their position. We still have Orange Esports na nandito din, no, sa laban na ito. And let's see from across, parehong OE and DE ang nagbabarilan.
And Do Easy with 7 kills already. Nakita na nga nila yung push na ginagawa ni Aries at ni JC. Kami wave, sabi ni Spade. Oy, naku, na-knockdown na nga si JC. Aries will try to get the revive here. Kaso nga lang, nakukulangan na sila sa oras kasi yung zone ay nag-shrink na rin. Papaliit ang ating circle. And right now, Bloody Heads, wala silang ginagawa dito. Nananahimik lang. Spade, dumapa na nga dito. At kung nakita na nga ni si Maute, huli ka sa cypher ko. And now Mark will be the last man standing. Kaso nga lang si Mark ay bumawi agad-agad. Knockdown ni Spade dito. Bayat with the killing spree na dito sa side ng Too Easy. And now Mark, kalaban niya ang dalawa dito. Actually, buhay pa ang 4 for Too Easy. And there you have it, men. Eliminated every single team na remaining dito sa laban na to. And Do Easy will get the booyah for the last game of the day. And
No, it's Orange Esports.
Orange Esports?
Oo, yung team na hindi masyado nakikialam, yung team na medyo malayo, sila ang nakuha. And this was a 4-man strong booyah coming from Orange Esports. Ay, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, sila din ang nakapatay ng nag-iisang Do Easy. So,
Sila pa
hindi
lang nanalo.
Oo,
Akala ko
hindi.
Do Easy kasi pareho.
which is fine. Pero ito, hindi talaga sila masyadong nagpakita doon. We were focused on the remaining 3 teams na naglalaban. We have Hard to Get, we have Do Easy as well as Bloody Heads. And Orange Esports, despite of the color, hindi sila napansin doon sa Gedli.
Hindi nagmaasim yung yung Orange Esports. Talagang nag-abang lang sila sa factory. Actually, inisip ko na yung kanina pa. Nung na-eliminate ng Bloodheads yung EWG doon sa compound na yun together with Blacklist.
Yeah.
Inisip ko nung pinakita yung mapa, ay, alam ko na kung sino man nanalo dito. Parang yung Orange Esports. Pero yun nga, nagkamali ako ng call doon. Kasi nga, akala ko yung Orange Esports yung Do Easy. Pareho kasi. Pero yun nga, kidding aside, Orange Esports, man, now able to get a booyah, and this is gonna be a really big factor for them to, bounce back sa overall standing kasi nagsistruggle sila for the past day and also yung huling linggo nung week number 1.
Oo. Alam mo yon, yung mga teams na natin dito, they are trying different things. Like for instance, no? Dito, nung sa match number 6, the final match, yun nasaksihan natin, marami ang nag-abangan lang. A very slow start. And then, when it comes to the middle part of the game, ang daming aggression na naganap. Wherein yung ibang mga teams, like for instance, Tactical Intex, hindi sila ganun ka-aggressive, but they went aggressive against an aggressive team which is Axis and dominated them. So, usually, yung mga last moments na yun na nagbibigay ng motivation para sa mga teams. What do you think about that situation, Beef Mami?
Oh, what do I think? I think Free Fire should change the font of O and D because it's making us casters have such a difficult time. Actually, no. I'm like, uy, ang galing naman yun, Orange Esports, natanggal na. Akala ko Do Easy siya, but then, god dang it, we always get confused. But you know what? There's no confusion in the fact that Orange Esports definitely went in, delivered that. Sobrang galing talaga ng performance na, and they were so quiet at the very beginning. And now, I feel like we get to see a turnaround here into our later half of the game, right? You get to see teams like ITX go up against Axis and just delivered so well, with Axis saying goodbye so early on into the game. And alam mo, Neptune, you actually mentioned it. Axis is a very aggressive team that can definitely handle a lot of the gunfight, diba? So ngayon naman, you get to see Orange then. They did a good job nung week number 1, pero ngayon, nahirapan sila into the early stages. But finally, the first booyah, a lot of the points are definitely going out there. So So, a lot of turning points dito sa mga teams natin for day number 2. We got Bete Esports finally finding their footing, di ba? And you know what? For the fans of these teams at the moment, hindi pa siya huli. Hindi pa huli kasi ang dami pa nating days na pwede sila mag-go and pick up of all of the points. And now, Kuku, di ba nga nasabi natin na yung Orange Esports medyo na-delay sila ng konti when it comes to this round. Ano yung nagawa nila dun sa final circle that just ended things right for them?
Well, they gotta be the most patient team dun sa round na yun. Kasi they just waited until na maglaban-laban yung natitirang teams. And wala sila sa circle. To be honest, wala sila sa circle. And they were able to actually get inside the circle together with eliminating the remaining players from Do Easy and Bloody Heads. So talagang patience is the key talaga.
Yun talaga yung susi. It's not only sa puso ng mga fans but also the key to winning the game. But I feel like yung isang strategy na nakita natin, by the way, Neptune strategy. na yun yung nakuha natin kay Neptune eh. But honestly, one of my favorite terms to use because it's like a strategic tragedy. So yun na nga, Orange Esports becoming really passive into the late game also, as well. And then really just attacking at the right moment. Parang yun yung nakita nating something similar for Ego Oblivions as well and Geek Fam. So now, speaking of the points and all the teams, let's see the standings of what happened dito sa last matchup natin sa Bermuda. Obviously, number 1. Meron tayong tiebreaker dito. 18 points for both Do Easy at also Orange Esports. And now, that's gonna be very confusing for us, di ba? Kasi pareho silang parang D and O. So you know what? It doesn't really matter. 18 points to their tally at the moment. Pero right below them, Bloody Heads, a really stellar performance din dito sa last game natin, sa game number 6 in Bermuda, having that 17 points. Ego Oblivions having a really good day then, 9 points then. Especially with that win a while ago, the Booyah. It just really goes to show na talagang patience really pays off at the very end. Hard to get. Isa pang consistent team to for our day number 2 in week number 2 with 9 points for their name 5th spot. And now for Eastern Wolves Gang, still pretty good points then, knowing very well na meron silang Booyah kanina with 7 points. But now to the right side, Tactical Intex, Vete Esports, Blacklist International, Todak, Script Shots, and Axis Esports. These teams, you're gonna be surprised that they're going to be on that right side of the screen. Just usually Vete Esports and Blacklist and Todak. Usually dun sila sa may kaliwa. But you know what? That doesn't really matter as we're gonna be seeing a lot of other things really going into the very end of our game today. But still, Geek Fam reigns supreme. But just right below them, sobrang konting points na lang. Blacklist International creeping up still very slowly. But after a terrible game number 6, they still stay below Geek Fam. So yeah, Blacklist International, 274 points yan. So madali pa rin for them to actually go and pick up the points, especially going into day number 3. Do Easy having that 230. Now medyo dito mo na makita yung gap between Geek Fam, Blacklist International kasi ang layo na nung gap. So kailangan perfect run talaga here for Do Easy and also hard to get. So feeling ko battle for third na lang talaga to kasi everyone else from third going all the way into probably number 7. You have hard to get with 220, Todak with 203, Overdose Esports with 200, and E-Wolves Gangs with 200 as well. Vete Esports and Bloody Heads, they're head-to-head at the moment with 173. So Vete Esports, sobrang galing talaga ng improvement nila from today compared to the last week, compared to yesterday. So finally, I think it was the fact na si Forbes just spearheaded his team all the way through. Ego Oblivions having that 168, Axis Esports with 162, Icon rushing it through 153. Pero tignan mo, tali talaga sila against Umbrella Esports. So again, wala tayong malalaman dito. Walang sure ball dito na spot because you'd want to stay up here into the top 12 spot. So Umbrella Reborn, Script Shots, you definitely have a momentum job as well as Orange Esports to go and take the crown. But speaking of taking the crown, here are the boys that definitely put it on top of their heads. Si Bayat from Do Easy, Jebat from Do Easy, we got from Orange Esports, Jebat, and also from Bloody Heads and Mark. And Bayat really just spearheaded his team. Kasi tinan mo to, 1,768. Pero si Mark din, alam mo sobrang galing niyang sniper before, but it seems like his transfer to the Groza might be a little bit an interesting pick for him because we're so used to Mark, diba? Usually na may sniper talaga siya. So yun, a damage of 1,910. So that's a lot of damage going on already. But here we go. It's going to be the team data that we have here. The MVPs for all these boys in particular. Number one, obviously, Geek Fam. Yeah, they've been just absolutely crazy today. Not only today, but also yesterday as well with 87,465 total damage, total buyas of 4. They've overthrown Blacklist International as the Kings, but it's still too early to tell who will actually take it because honestly, it's the battle for 1 and 2 between these two teams. Blacklist International having 76,359 total damage, and Do Easy, ito medyo may kalayuan now in terms of the points, 68,087. So not bad for Do Easy that has been doing such a great job here. And now we are ending week number 2, day number 2. That was such a satisfying game to watch. And not only that, in the past games as well. Feeling ko yung highlight sa akin, yung circle dun sa may Bermuda nung medyo, yung circle, yung water circle, definitely, no? How about for you, Neptune? What was your favorite spot here into the whole competition?
My favorite is the Todak script shot turnaround. I mean, when you were expecting an elimination, pero nabaliktad ng Todak yung sitwasyon.
Definitely a really good spot for script shots. They have been doing such a great job. How about you, Kuku? What was your favorite moment in the whole day 2 tournament?
Actually, yung favorite ko doon is yung same nung sa'yo, Beef Mommy. Kasi water circle is really, really nice to see, especially in Battle Royale. So, kumbaga, isipin mo kung paano ba nila ipapanalo yun. No? Mahirap gawin yun, pero nakita natin na nagawa ng paraan ng team na nanalo dun sa mapa nila.
Definitely. We kind of see Ego Oblivions really pull through and show how much they have it, almost winning one more Booyah. And speaking of Booyahs, who's going to be taking a lot of the points, a lot of the Booyahs for tomorrow's day number 3? Because obviously, mas madami bang bakbakan na mangyayari bukas. It has been your host, Beef Mommy, and with the beautiful casters with me here today, Neptune and Kuku TV. See you soon.